This is an AI-run campaign run based off of the D20 modern system. This is done with the solo leveling anime series mindset. I hope that you enjoy. Now sit back and grab some popcorn as we dive into another story. Can we play another game using the D20 modern system? I want to play as a male character, James Bishop. That gets pulled into a solo leveling style portal. The portal classes after me until I clear the dungeon. I get reborn one way or another into a hunter as a fighter/mage class. This sounds like an exciting premise, blending the grit of D20 Modern with the power fantasy progression of solo leveling narrative. Here is the setup for the campaign. We will use the D20 Modern rule set, incorporating the Urban Arcana magic elements to support your fighter/mage build. Campaign, The Awakening. System, D20 Modern, modified for system mechanics. Character, James Bishop class archetype. Strong hero/smart hero, leading into battle mage current status. Unawakened civilian /awakening hunter. Character sheet, James Bishop level 1. Role, fighter/mage, spells word style. Attributes, STR, 14 plus 2, athletic INT, 15 plus 2, sharp mind, required for casting DX, 12 plus 1 con, 12 plus 1, starting feats. Simple weapon proficiency mage hand. Innate you can manipulate minor objects telekinetically. Arcane strike, lock channel magic into melee hits. Unlocks at level 2. Equipment, briefcase, improvised weapon, smartphone, business casual clothes. The prologue. The gate opens. It is a rainy Tuesday evening in the city. You are walking past a construction site, head down, checking a notification on your phone. The air pressure suddenly drops, making your ears pop. The hair on your arm stands up. A sound like tearing metal screams through the alleyway. Before you can run, a swirling vortex of blue and black energy. A gate cracks open in the chain-link fence. It acts like a vacuum. You scramble for a handhold, grabbing a street lamp, but the force is too strong. Your grip slips. You are sucked in. Wham! You hit a cold stone floor hard. You scramble to your feet, looking back. The portal swirls for a second, then snaps shut, turning into a solid stone wall. On the wall, glowing blue text appears in the air, hovering like a hologram. System alert. Player detected. James Bishop. Dungeon class. E-rank tutorial. Objective. Clear the dungeon to exit. Status. Awakening. A searing pain shoots through your chest. It feels like lightning is rewriting your DNA. You fall to your knees, gasping, as blue mana circuits flare to life under your skin. The pain fades, leaving you feeling stronger, lighter, and buzzing with strange energy. You have been reborn as a hunter. You look forward. You are in a dim, torchlit cavern. About 30 feet ahead, a small, green-skinned creature with jagged ears, a goblin, is picking at a bone. It hasn't seen you yet. You embrace the confusion and terror of the situation, letting it curdle into pure anger. You focus that rage into your hands, visualizing the blue energy you saw on the wall. The circuits under your skin flare white hot. You thrust your hand forward. Dice roll, range touch attack 16 plus 1 DX, equals 17 versus goblin AC, flat-footed. Hit. Damage. 5 force damage. A jagged bolt of crackling blue energy erupts from your palm. It screams through the air and slams into the goblin's back. The creature doesn't even have time to shriek. The force of the blast crunches its spine and sends it flying into the stone wall. It slides down motionless. Black smoke rises from its body, and it begins to dissolve into ash. System alert. Combat ends. Enemy defeated. Goblin Scout, LVL1, XP gained, 150 mana, 8 out of 10. Floating before your eyes is a new notification. Skill created, skill name, mana bolt rank. Novice description, a raw discharge of magical energy fueled by intent. Deals 1d6 force damage. Range 30 feet. Where the goblin dissolved, a small glowing object remains on the floor. It looks like a crude, rusted knife. You reach down into the pile of warm ash. The rusted metal feels gritty against your palm, but as you wrap your fingers around the hilt, a small window pops up. Item obtained, rusted goblin dagger type. Simple light weapon damage. 1D for piercing critical. 19-20/X2 durability. 5 out of 10. You also spot a small, dim crystal in the ash, an E-rank mana stone. You pocket it, gripping the dagger in your right hand. It's not much, but it's better than your fists. You press deeper into the dungeon. The tunnel widens, opening up into a larger limestone chamber with a high ceiling. Water drips from stalactites into small pools. In the center of the room, near a smoldering campfire, are 2 goblins. Goblin A is sitting on a crate, sharpening a crude wooden spear. Goblin B is currently asleep on the floor, snoring loudly. You are currently hidden in the shadows of the tunnel entrance, about 40 feet away. You feel the hum of magic in your veins again, but the dagger in your hand feels heavy and real. You tighten your grip on the rusted dagger and lower your center of gravity. You step carefully, timing your movements with the steady drip, drip, drip of the cave water. Dice roll, move silently 14 plus 1 DX. Equals 15 Goblin A, listen 8 failed. The goblin sharpening the spear doesn't even look up. You reach the sleeping goblin, looming over its small, heaving chest. With a grimace, you drive the dagger down. Attack. Surprise round automatic hit, helpless target. Damage for 1d4, plus 2 STR, equals 6 damage. The blade sinks deep into the goblin's throat. It jerks once, eyes snapping open in silent shock, before going limp. System alert. Enemy defeated. Goblin, LVO1, XP gained, 75. The goblin sitting on the crate freezes. It hears the wet thud of the body settling. It looks up, sees you standing over its dead companion, and screeches, dropping its whetstone and grabbing its spear with both hands. Combat start. The goblin is 5 feet away from you. It has a short spear, reach is standard for small creatures, but it can jab effectively. You are currently standing over the dead body of the first goblin. You move with surprising speed, your body reacting almost faster than your thoughts. As the goblin tries to level its spear, you swat the shaft aside with your free hand and drive the dagger forward. Dice roll, melee attack 13 plus 2 STR, equals 15 versus Goblin AC 13. Hit. Damage. 3, 1d4, plus 2 STR, equals 5 damage. The rusty blade slices across the goblin's chest, leaving a glowing line of pixelated red data. The creature stumbles back, shrieking. You don't let up. Following the slash, you pivot and drive a hard kick into its solar plexus. The goblin flies backward, hits the crate it was sitting on, and bursts into a cloud of black smoke before it even hits the floor. System alert. Enemy defeated. Goblin, LVO1. XP gained. 75 current XP. 300/500, level 1 mana. 9 out of 10, regenerating slowly. Silence returns to the cave, save for the crackling of the campfire. You search the area. The crate contains some rotted food, useless. But next to the fire, you find a leather pouch. Inside is a vial of red liquid. Item obtained, minor health potion effect. Restores 1d8 HP. You also spot a heavy iron door at the far end of the chamber. It has no handle, but there is a glowing blue rune in the center. You take a few minutes to thoroughly toss the room, kicking aside goblin refuse and checking behind the stalagmites. Dice roll, search 16 plus 2, INT, equals 18. Your sharp eyes catch something glinting in the dirt near the back wall, half buried under some loose gravel. It looks like the remains of a previous adventurer, just a skeletal hand clutching a small bag. You pry the bag loose. Inside you find dungeon currency, 500 gold credits, digital currency that uploads to your system interface. Item, a pair of studded fingerless gauntlets. Item obtained, Brawler's Gauntlets rarity, common defense, plus 1 AC effect. Your unarmed strikes, punches, now deal lethal damage instead of non-lethal, and you gain a plus 1 bonus to grapple checks. These fit perfectly over your hands, giving you some much-needed protection and making your fists feel heavier and more dangerous. You are no longer fighting with bare knuckles. You turn your attention back to the iron door. Now that you look closer, the blue rune isn't just glowing. It's a puzzle. It consists of 3 concentric rings that are slowly rotating. System alert. Gatekeeper mechanism detected. Requirement. Infuse mana to align the rings or force the lock physically. You place your palm against the cold metal of the door, directly over the glowing rune. You close your eyes and focus on the humming sensation in your veins. Mana. 7 tense dice roll, concentration / spellcraft 15 plus 2, INT, equals 17 success. It feels like turning a key inside your mind. You push a pulse of blue energy into the mechanism. The 3 rings spin rapidly, glowing brighter until they align with a satisfying heavy mechanical clunk. The blue light turns green, and the heavy iron doors grind open. You step into a large, circular arena lit by braziers burning with blue fire. In the center sits a throne made of piled bones. Sitting on it is a creature twice the size of the goblins you faced earlier. It has dark red skin, visible muscles, and is wearing piecemeal iron armor. It holds a jagged greatsword resting on its shoulder. It sees you, stands up to its full 7-foot height, and roars, shaking the dust from the ceiling. System alert. Boss detected name. Hobgoblin Overseer rank. E-rank boss state. Enraged. The boss HP bar appears over its head. It spans the width of your vision. Initiative roll. James Bishop. 18 plus 1 DX equals 19 Hobgoblin Overseer. 12 plus 1 DX equals 13. You act first. The beast is about 40 feet away, charging up a heavy swing. You raise your palm, sighting the charging beast. Mana. 6 tense dice roll. Range touch 14 plus 1 DX equals 15. Hit. Damage. 5 force damage. The blue bolt streaks across the arena and slams squarely into the hobgoblin's chest. It blasts a piece of his iron armor off and leaves a smoking welt on his red skin. The hobgoblin doesn't even slow down. He roars, ignoring the pain, and closes the distance in a terrifying burst of speed. Hobgoblin's turn. He uses the momentum of his sprint to swing the massive greatsword in a vertical chop aimed right at your head. Boss attack, charge 16 versus. Your AC 12. Hit. Damage. 6 slashing damage. You try to sidestep, but the blade is too fast. You manage to deflect the worst of it with your new gauntlets, but the heavy steel bites into your shoulder and the impact knocks you off your feet. You skid across the stone floor. System warning. HP. 6/12 50%. Status. Bleeding. You scramble back up. The hobgoblin is looming over you, grinning with tusks bared, preparing for a horizontal cleave that will cut you in half. You're in melee range, 5 feet. You grit your teeth and gamble everything on a counterattack. As the massive iron greatsword whistles horizontally through the air, aiming for your neck, you drop into a crouch. The blade passes inches above your head, cutting a lock of your hair. You explode upward from the crouch, putting every ounce of strength from your legs and back into a rising uppercut with your brawler's gauntlet. Dice roll, melee attack 18 natural, plus 2 STR, plus 1 BAB equals 21. Critical threat. Confirmation roll. 15 plus 3 is equal to 18. Critical hit. Damage. 1d4 plus 2. X2 is equal to 10 bludgeoning damage. Crack. Your studded fist connects squarely with the hobgoblin's jaw with the sound of a sledgehammer hitting a melon. The force of the blow lifts the 300-pound beast off its feet. It crashes backward onto its own bone throne, the greatsword clattering to the floor. Blue blood sprays from its mouth. Its HP bar drops drastically, turning from green to a flashing red. System alert. Boss status. Stunned 1 turn. HP critical. The hobgoblin is dazed, shaking its head, trying to focus its eyes. It is vulnerable. Finish it. You don't hesitate. With the hobgoblin dazed and sprawling on the throne of bones, you leap onto the pile, planting a boot on its chest to pin it down. You reverse your grip on the rusted dagger. The beast's eyes clear just in time to see the blade coming down. It raises a hand to stop you, but you are too fast. Shunk. You drive the dagger straight through the gaps in its iron armor and into its heart. You twist the blade. The hobgoblin lets out a gurgling metallic sigh. Its body stiffens, then begins to crack like cooling lava. Bright blue light leaks from the cracks in its skin. With a final, thunderous sound, the massive body explodes into a cloud of black particles. System alert. Boss defeated. XP gain 500. Level up. Level $1 right to $1 level 2. The room falls silent. The blue fire in the braziers flickers and dies out, replaced by a warm, golden light radiating from the center of the room. A holographic screen fills your vision. Dungeon cleared. Rating S. No damage taken from mobs. Boss executed. Rewards. Status recovery. HP and mana fully restored. Loot box. Rare added to inventory. Bonus. 1,000 credits. Where the boss died, 2 items remain floating in the air. Skill rune. Cleave. A stone tablet that, when crushed, instantly teaches you to cleave feat. Strike a second adjacent enemy if you drop the first one. Overseer's ring. A heavy iron band. Effect. +2 STR when worn. The back wall of the cabin begins to swirl. Opening a blue portal. The exit back to the real world. You are standing in the quiet boss room, level 2, fully healed, with loot waiting. You slide the Overseer's ring onto your finger. It shrinks instantly to fit you. A surge of raw physical power floods your muscles. Your grip feels like a vice and the fatigue from the battle vanishes. Next, you pick up the skill rune. It feels like fragile slate. You crush it in your fist. Azure dust explodes from your hand and seeps into your skin. Instantly, the muscle memory of how to swing a weapon through multiple targets in a single, fluid arc imprints itself onto your brain. System alert. STR increased. $14 right to $1.16, +3 modifier. Feat learned. Cleave. Finally, you walk over to the greatsword. It's a slab of iron that would look ridiculous in the hands of a normal man. You grip the leather-wrapped hilt. With your new strength score of 16, you lift it. It's heavy but balanced. Item obtained. Iron greatsword. Damage. 2d6 slashing. Crit. 19-20/x2. Note. Requires 2 hands. You drag the massive blade over your shoulder and step into the swirling blue portal. The real world. The sensation of vertigo hits you hard. The stone floor disappears, replaced by wet asphalt. The smell of ozone and rot is replaced by the smell of rain and city exhaust. You are back in the alleyway at the construction site. Whomp. The portal behind you implodes, shrinking into a tiny point of light before vanishing completely with a soft pop. The rain is still falling. The streetlights are still humming. According to your phone, only 20 minutes have passed since you were sucked in, but you feel like a completely different person. A blue window flickers into existence in the rain, visible only to you. Status report. Name, James Bishop. Level, 2 fighter/mage. HP, 2020, increased due to con and level up. Mana, 15 of 15. Class feature unlocked. Arcane Strike. You can now spend 1 mana point as a free action to imbue your melee weapon with energy for 1 turn. Adds +1d4 force damage to attacks and counts as a magic weapon. You are standing in the middle of a modern city holding a bloody 5-foot-long iron sword. A police siren wails in the distance, getting closer. You focus your mind on the concept of storage, panic rising as the siren gets louder. You whisper, inventory. A semi-transparent grid of blue squares, 10 slots across and 10 down, instantly pops into existence in the air before you. You shove the heavy iron greatsword toward the grid. The massive blade dissolves into blue pixels as it crosses the threshold. A small, stylized icon of the sword appears in the first slot. You quickly toss the rusted dagger, and the brawler's gauntlets in there as well. Just in time. A police cruiser rolls past the mouth of the alley. The officer slows down, shining a spotlight into the dark recess. The beam hits you, a soaking wet man in a torn business suit breathing hard, but seeing no weapons and no active threat, the officer kills the light. The cruiser accelerates, sirens fading into the rainy night. You lean against the brick wall, sliding down until you hit the wet pavement. You are safe. The adrenaline crash hits you hard. Floating in the corner of your vision is a pulsing gold icon. Rare loot box. You trudge home through the rain, keeping your head down to hide the unnatural intensity in your eyes. You live in a modest second-floor apartment a few blocks away. Once inside, You lock the door, engaging the deadbolt in the chain. The silence of your apartment feels alien compared to the screaming violence of the dungeon. You strip off your ruined suit. The jacket is torn at the shoulder, the shirt stained with sweat and grime. You step into the shower. As you wash away the dungeon grit, you look down. The +2 STR from the ring, and the level up wasn't just numbers. Your muscles are denser, more defined. Scars from the fight have already faded to faint white lines. You dry off and change into sweatpants and a t-shirt. You sit on the edge of your bed, taking a deep breath. System, you whisper, daily quests. A window pings open with a jarringly cheerful sound effect. Daily quest. Preparing the vessel goal. To handle the man of a hunter, your body must be forged anew. Requirements. Push-ups, 0/100. Sit-ups, 0/100. Squats, 0/100. Running, 0/10 kilometers. Time remaining, 3 hours and 45 minutes. Resets at midnight. Incomplete penalty. Transportation to the penalty zone for 4 hours. Completion reward. Full status recovery +3 ability score points. You look at the clock. It's late. You have less than 4 hours to run a 10K and do 300 reps of calisthenics. Your body is fresh thanks to the dungeon heal, but mentally, you are exhausted. However, that penalty zone sounds ominous. You also see the rare loot box, icon still blinking in the corner of your vision, waiting to be opened. You shove your feet into your running shoes, grab your house keys, and head back out into the rain. The run, 10 kilometers. You start jogging, expecting the usual burn in your lungs after the first mile. It never comes. Your legs feel like hydraulic pistons. The +2 STR from the ring and your natural level 2 physiology make you feel weightless. You find yourself sprinting, weaving through the wet city streets, passing cars stuck in traffic. You finish the 10 kilometers in under 35 minutes, Olympic pace for a normal human, but a light warm-up for you now. The calisthenics back in your living room. You drop to the floor. Push-ups. You pound them out in sets of 50. Your arms don't shake, sit-ups. Your core feels like iron. Squats. You finish these in one continuous set. As you finish the final squat, a golden light envelopes your body, washing away the sweat and fatigue instantly. Daily quest completed, reward sent. Status recovery. HP/mana fully restored. Attribute points. +3. Available to distribute. You sit on your couch, toweling off. You pull up your status screen. You have 3 points to add directly to your ability scores. In the D20 system, this is a massive leap in power. Current stats base. STR 14 +2. +2 from ring equals 16 DX. 12 +1 con. 12 +1 INT. 15 +2 WIS. 10-0 CHA 10-0. Where do you want to put your 3 points? Tip. Boosting INT to 16 gives you more skill points / better spells. Boosting STR makes you hit harder. Boosting DX helps your AC / reflex. Boosting CON gives more HP. You distribute the points. A warm sensation flows through your limbs and chest as your genetic makeup is rewritten. Stats updated. STR, $14 / right to $1.15, current total. 17 +3. With ring, DX, $12 / right to $1.13, +1 con. $12 / right to $1.13, +1 note. You're now just 1 point away in DX and con from gaining higher modifiers. Your base physical power is nearing peak human condition. With the daily quest cleared and your stats boosted, you turn your attention to the final reward of the night. You tap the pulsing gold icon in your vision, opening rare loot box. A small, ornate chest materializes on your coffee table. The lid creaks open, revealing a burst of violet light. Inside, resting on velvet, is a thick leather-bound book with single eye embossed on the cover. Item obtained. Skill book. Analyze. Rank. Rare. Type. Active skill. Cost. 5 mana. Effect. Instantly reveals a target's name, rank, HP, and 1 elemental weakness or immunity. Requirement. INT 14 plus met. You pick up the book. As soon as you touch it, it dissolves into violet light that shoots straight into your forehead. You stagger back, clutching your head as information floods your brain. When you open your eyes, the world looks sharper. You look at your coffee table. Object, coffee table. Durability, 15 of 20. Material, particle board/fake wood. It works. This is invaluable. In D20 terms, you basically just gain the ability to auto-succeed on knowledge checks regarding monsters. The next morning, you wake up to the sound of your alarm. Sunlight is streaming through the blinds. You feel incredibly rested, despite only getting a few hours of sleep. You have a job, a boring data entry gig at a downtown office. But looking at your bank account on your phone, you have $1,450 real money and 1,500 credits system currency. You also have the E-rank mana stone you looted from the first goblin. You remember reading online conspiracy forums about hunter markets popping up where people buy these strange stones for high prices. Current status: HP 2222 updated for level 2 plus new CON mana. 1616 updated for level 2 equipment. Briefcase civilian. Inventory great sword, dagger, gauntlets. You call your boss, feigning a rough cough. Dice roll bluff 10 plus 0. CHA equals 10. Boss sense motive. 8. Yeah, whatever, James. Just make sure the spreadsheets are done by tomorrow, he grumbles before hanging up. You are free for the day. Since this world follows awakening tropes, there's absolutely a governing body. A quick search on your phone reveals the Hunter Association. City branch is located downtown in a repurposed government building. It's open 24/7 for evaluations. You grab your gear stored in your inventory and head out. Location: Hunter Association Testing Center. The building is imposing, concrete and glass, guarded by 2 men in tactical gear holding rifles that glow with faint enchantments. You walk into the lobby. It looks like the DMV, but everyone here is dangerous. There are people in full-plate armor, waiting in line next to people in tracksuits. You approach the front desk. I need to register. I awakened yesterday. The receptionist doesn't look up. Fill this out. Room 104 for mana measurement. Next, the evaluation. You enter room 104. It's a white, sterile room dominated by a large black crystal sphere mounted on a pedestal, a manometer. A board technician in a lab coat gestures to the sphere. Place your hand on the crystal. Push your mana into it. Don't hold back, or you'll get ranked lower than you are and die in a dungeon you're not qualified for. You step up. You feel the mana buzzing in your veins, 1616 mana. You place your hand on the cold surface. What do? Full power. Push everything you have into it. You want the perks of a high rank. Suppress it. Try to hide your mage capabilities and pass as a pure fighter. Requires a concentration check. Standard output. Just let it flow naturally. Assuming you go with standard output based on your get tested goal, you let the blue energy flow from your core into the sphere. The black crystal fills with a swirling blue mist. The light intensifies, glowing steadily, but it doesn't crack or blind anyone. The technician looks at a monitor. Mana capacity is consistent. Wavelength, hybrid type, rare. He types a few keys and a printer whirs. He hands you a plastic ID card. Hunter license obtained, name, James Bishop class. Fighter/mage type rank. E-rank guild affiliation. None, freelancer. Congratulations, you're an E-rank, the technician says. You're stronger than a civilian, but barely. You can handle low-level goblins and slimes. Don't try to be a hero. You can pick up E-rank dungeon permits at the kiosk in the lobby. The daily quest. With your license in hand, you head to the association's gym facility, free for licensed hunters, to knock out your daily quest. Surrounded by other low-rank hunters lifting rusted weights, you begin your routine. 10 kilometers run. You do this on the treadmill. Hunters glance at you. Your speed is impressive for an E-rank. Strength training. You blast through the push-ups, sit-ups, and squats. Daily quest completed. Rewards. Status recovery. HP/mana fully restored. Attribute points, +3. You towel off, feeling that rush of power again. Current stats, base. STR, 15 plus 2, 17 with ring DX. 13 plus 1 con, 13 plus 1 INT, 15 plus 2 WIS, 10-0, CHA 10-0. You have 3 more points to spend. This system is making you grow incredibly fast compared to normal hunters who are stuck at their rank. You tap the buttons on your status screen, dumping your points into your mental and social attributes. Stats updated. INT, $15 right to $1.16, +3 modifier, new tier. WIS, $10 right to $1.11, CHA, $10 right to $1.11. A shiver runs down your spine, but it's cold and focused. Your thoughts accelerate. The world doesn't just look sharper, like with the analyze skill. It makes more sense. You feel the mana in the air around the gym, sensing the flow of energy in the other hunters. Your spells will be harder to resist now, and your capacity to learn has expanded. Satisfied, you head to the job kiosk in the main lobby. It looks like an airport departure board, scrolling through available gates. As an E-rank freelancer, you are restricted to E-rank dungeons, white/blue gates. Red gates are restricted to guild raiding parties. You scan the terminal. 3 options stand out for a solo raider. Available E-rank gates. 1. The Rotting Cellar. Location: sub-basement or condemned warehouse, Sector 4. Type: vermin/beast. Primary enemy: giant rats, dire rats. Payout estimate: $800 plus materials, rat tail/pelts. Difficulty: easy note. High spawn rate, low XP per kill. Good for farming raw currency/materials. 2. The Silent Metro. Location: an abandoned subway tunnel echoing a dimensional fracture, Sector 7. Type: undead. Primary enemy: shambling zombies. Payout estimate: $1,200 plus magic crystals. Difficulty: moderate. Note: enemies are slow but durable. Fire magic is highly effective. Good chance for equipment drops. 3. The Stone Garden. Location: a pocket dimension manifesting in a city park. Type: construct/elemental. Primary enemy: clay soldiers, small earth elementals. Payout estimate: $1,500 plus elemental cores. Difficulty: hard. Note: enemies have high physical defense, DR. Magic attacks recommended. High risk, high reward. You select the Rotting Cellar on the kiosk screen. The permit prints out with a barcode. You take a cab to Sector 4, an industrial district that has seen better days. The destination is a crumbling brick warehouse surrounded by yellow police tape. A loan association official stands by the entrance, checking permits. He scans yours, nods, and lifts the tape. Don't get bit. We're short on antibiotics, he mutters. You step inside. The air immediately turns cold and damp. The smell of wet fur and sewage hits you. In the center of the empty floor, a swirling white vortex, a white gate, low E rank. Waits. You pull your iron greatsword from your inventory. The sheer size of the blade is reassuring. You step through. Dungeon, the Rotting Cellar. You emerge in a series of interconnected brick tunnels, knee-deep in murky water. The only light comes from bioluminescent moss clinging to the ceiling. Scritch, scritch. You hear them before you see them. Red eyes ignite in the darkness ahead. System alert. Enemy detected. Giant dire rat, level 1, X3. 3 rats, each the size of a large dog, scurry out of the drain pipes. Their teeth are yellow chisels, and their fur is matted with grime. They hiss when they see you, their tails twitching. They are bunched close together. A perfect setup. Initiative: James Bishop. 16 plus 1 DX equals 17 dire rats. 12. You act first. The rats are about 15 feet away, rushing toward you through the water. You plant your feet in the murky water, the sludge sucking at your boots. As the first rat leaps, you swing the massive iron greatsword with a roar of exertion. The blade is heavy, but your 17 strength makes it sing through the damp air. Dice roll: attack 14 plus 1 BAB plus 3 STR equals 18. Hit. Damage. 8 2d6 plus 4 STRX 1.5 equals 12 damage. Splat. The massive iron slab connects with the Madeira rat. There is no resistance. The creature is simply bisected. It bursts into a shower of black pixels and gore. Skill activation. Cleave. Your swing doesn't stop. You pivot your hips, carrying the momentum of the blade to the first kill, and directly into the second rat, which was scuttling up next to it. Dice roll. Cleave attack 16 plus 4 is equal 20. Hit. Damage. 9 2d6 plus 4 is equal to 13 damage. The blade crunches into the second rat, smashing it against the brick wall of the sewer. It dissolves instantly. System alert. Enemy defeated. Dire rat X2 XP gained 100. However, the third rat is fast. While you are recovering from the swing, it darts through the splashed water and latches onto your leg. Rat attack. 15 versus. Your AC 11. Hit. Damage. 3 piercing damage. Fortitude save versus disease 14 plus 1 con equals 15. Success. You resist a filth fever. You feel sharp teeth sink into your shin through your pants. It hurts, but your adrenaline is pumping. Status. HP. 19-20 seconds mana. 16-16 current foe. Dire rat level 1. Attached to your leg. You violent shake your leg, sending the heavy rat flying. It splashes into the water a few feet away, disoriented. Before it can recover, you bring the greatsword down in a vertical chop. Dice roll. Attack 15 plus 4 is equal to 19. Hit. Damage. 11 2d6 plus 4 is equal to 15 damage. The blade cleaves the rat in two, driving through its body and cracking the stone floor beneath the water. The creature dissolves into black smoke. System alert. Enemy defeated. Dire rat XP gained. 50 total XP. 200 current session. Silence returns to the tunnel, save for the dripping water and your own breathing. Floating in the murky water where the rats died are 3 glowing items. Loot obtained. Dire rat tail. X3 crafting material / proof of kill. Value. $50 each. Tiny mana shard. A fragment of crystallized mana. Value. $100. You collect the items and store them in your inventory. Status. HP. 19-20 seconds mana. 16-16. You press deeper into the dungeon. The tunnel slopes downward, the water getting deeper. Up to your mid-thigh now. The smell becomes pungent, almost unbearable. You come to a fork in the sewer pipes. Left path. You hear a low, rhythmic thumping sound, like a large heart beating or heavy machinery. The water flows away from this tunnel. Right path. You hear the distinct chittering of dozens, maybe hundreds, of smaller creatures. It sounds like a nest. You crouch down, ignoring the stench, and focus your gaze on the darker, oily water flowing from the left tunnel. You whisper the command word. Analyze. Your eyes glow with a faint violet light. Data streams cascade over your vision, decoding the chemical and magical composition of the sludge. Analysis complete. Target. Contaminated sewer water composition. H2O, filthy 60% mutagenic ichor, 35% broodmother pheromones. 5%. Inference. The source upstream is an alpha variant entity. The rhythmic thumping is likely a gestation sac or a heavy tail striking the ground. System alert. Mana. 11/16. The intel is clear. The left path leads directly to the dungeon boss, likely a giant, mutated rat mother. The right path, where the chittering is coming from, is likely the nursery, filled with swarms of smaller enemies. You turn right, splashing through the knee-deep sludge. The chittering sound grows from a murmur to a deafening screech. You step into a massive, circular cistern. The water here is shallow, but the floor is barely visible. It is covered in mounds of trash, driftwood, and bone, and rats. System alert. Horde detected. Enemy. Sewer rat LVL1. X20 plus danger level. Moderate. Swarm tactics. The moment your boot hits the concrete lip of the room, the sea of fur ripples. Hundreds of red eyes turn toward you. With a collective shriek, The carpet of vermin surges forward. They aren't big like the dire rats, but there are dozens of them. Initiative, James Bishop, 19, you are fast. Rat horde, 8. They are scrambling over each other to get to you. You have a few seconds before the wave hits. You focus your mind on the rusted, groaning rebar hanging from the ceiling. You extend your hand, fingers curled as if gripping an invisible rope. Break, you whisper. You cast Mage Hand, but instead of a gentle lift, you apply a sudden, sharp torque to the metal's weakest point. Snap, the corroded metal gives way instantly. The massive cluster of concrete chunks, rusted pipes, and industrial trash, easily weighing half a ton, plummets into the center of the cistern. Crash! The impact shakes the floor beneath your feet. Dirty water sprays all the way to the tunnel entrance. The sound of crushing bone and wet squelching is sickeningly loud, followed immediately by silence. System alert. Environmental kill. Enemies defeated. Sewer Rat X16. XP gained. For 100 mana. 10/16. Dust and mist slowly settle. The center of the room is a mountain of rubble. Black smoke is rising from beneath the rocks as the crushed rats dissolve. However, not all of them are caught. From the edges of the room, 4 rats that escaped the impact are now chittering in a frenzy. They spot you at the entrance. They are terrified but cornered, and they are charging you. Combat resume. Enemy. Sewer Rat X4 distance. 30 feet, closing fast. You have your great sword ready. This is a perfect setup for cleave or a spell. You step back into the narrower tunnel mouth, limiting their angle of attack. The 4 surviving rats scramble over the wet floor, driven by panic and frenzy, squealing as they close the distance. You wait until they are almost on top of you. Whoosh! Your great sword creates a wall of steel. Attack 117 plus 4 is equal to 21 hit, $/right to $1 damage. 12 instant kill. Cleave activation. 15 plus 4 is equal to 19 hit, $/right to $1 damage. 10 instant kill. 2 rats are sliced apart in a single motion, dissolving into black smoke before their blood can even hit the water. The remaining 2 rats skid to a halt, realizing the trap. They try to turn back, but you step forward, reversing the blade with a heavy grunt of exertion. Attack 219 plus 4 is equal to 23 hit. Cleave activation. 14 plus 4 is equal to 18 hit. It's a massacre. In less than 10 seconds, the swarm is gone. System alert. Room cleared. XP gained. 100 combat plus 400 trap equals 500 XP. Total XP, 700/1500 level 2. You walk into the center of the cistern, stepping over the rubble of the ceiling collapse. The water here is thick with loot lights. It takes you a few minutes to collect everything from the 20 destroyed rats. Loot summary. Rat tails, X20 market value, $1,000 small mana crystals, X5 market value, $500 skill book common sprint passive, plus 5 foot movement speed, found in the nest debris. Status, HP, 19/20 seconds mana, 10/16 inventory, rich with loot. You look back toward the fork. The right path is clear. That leaves the left path, the one with the mutagenic water and the thumping sound. You head back to the fork and turn down the left tunnel, the boss chamber. The tunnel opens into a massive, cavernous storm drain. The water here is waist deep and bubbling with green slime. In the center, on a raised concrete platform surrounded by the toxic water, lies the broodmother. It is a monstrosity, a rat the size of a minivan, its body swollen and pulsing with green veins. It is blind, sniffing the air. Around it, 3 aggressive dire rats, the bodyguards, are pacing. System alert. Boss detected. Mutated broodmother, D-rank equivalent. Weakness, fire/holy. Resistance, poison/disease. The broodmother lets out a low, gurgling roar. It hasn't pinpointed your location yet, but the bodyguards are sniffing the air. You are 60 feet away, currently hidden by the gloom of the tunnel entrance. You retrieve the skill book, sprint from your inventory. It looks like a worn manual with a wing boot on the cover. You crush it between your hands. Green energy spirals up your arms and settles into your legs. You feel lighter, the gravity of the earth seeming to lose its grip on you slightly. Skill learned, sprint, passive base movement speed increased to 35 feet, run multiplier increased. You take a deep breath, eyeing the 60-foot gap of toxic water between you and the broodmother. You grip the hilt of the iron greatsword until your knuckles turn white. Go. You explode from the tunnel entrance. The water churns violently as you dash. The 3 bodyguards turn, chittering in confusion, but you are moving too fast. With your new speed and the element of surprise, you act as a blur of motion, rushing right to the gap between 2 of the rats before they can even lower their spears. You leap from the water onto the concrete platform. The broodmother turns its massive, blind head toward the sound of your splash, but it's too late. You channel your momentum into a leaping overhead smash. Dice roll, charge attack 16 plus 3 STR, plus 1 BAB, plus 2 charge bonus, equals 22. Hit, damage, 10 2d6 plus 4 STRX 1.5, equals 14 damage. Crunch. The iron blade bites deep into the broodmother's swollen shoulder, carving through thick hide and muscle. Green blood erupts like a geyser, splashing onto your armor. The beast screams, a high-pitched, ear-shattering sound that sends ripples through the water. System alert. Boss HP, 70% injured. Status, enraged. The force of the blow knocks the massive rat down, but she doesn't stay down. She thrashes, her tail whipping around like a masterwork whip. Boss turn. The broodmother convulses and sprays a jet of pressurized, acidic bile directly at you. Reflex save James 12 plus 1 DX. Equals 13 versus DC 12. Success. You twist your body, raising the flat of the greatsword to shield your face. The acid hisses against the iron blade, pitting the metal, but you take no damage. The situation: you are standing on a small central island, face to face with the massive boss. Behind you, the 3 dire rat bodyguards have recovered from their shock. They are rushing the platform to stab you in the back. You grit your teeth, feeling the vibration of the rushing guards through the soles of your boots. You wait until you can smell their rot. As the first dire rat leaps from the water to sink its teeth into your calf, you pivot on your heel. You turn your back to the broodmother for a split second, using the rotation to generate massive torque. Itcha! Swoosh! The iron greatsword becomes a blurred death. Target: dire rat bodyguard, LVL1 attack roll. 15 plus 4 is equal to 19. Hit! Damage: 11 2d6, plus 4 is equal to 15 damage. The blade catches the leaping rat in midair. It doesn't just cut it, it obliterates it. The rat bursts into a cloud of black particles instantly. Cleave activated. The blade screams through the empty space where the rat was and continues its arc, slamming directly into the side of the broodmother's neck. Target: broodmother boss attack roll. 17 plus 4 is equal to 21. Hit. Damage: 8 2d6, plus 4 is equal to 12 damage. Thud. The impact is sickeningly heavy. The blade bites deep, cracking the carapace and sinking into the soft flesh underneath. The broodmother shrieks, thrashing wildly. System alert. Boss HP, 35% critical. However, the spin leaves you exposed for a second. The 2 remaining bodyguards seize the opening. Guard A attack, 18 versus AC 13. Hit. For DMG, Guard B attack, 14 versus AC 13. Hit. 3 DMG. 1 rat sinks its teeth into your thigh, and the other slashes your forearm with filthy claws. Then, the broodmother retaliates. Blind with pain and rage, she lunges, snapping her massive jaws blindly. Boss attack, 19 versus AC 13. Hit. Damage, 9 piercing damage. Her teeth clamp down on your shoulder. You hear the metal of your pauldron crunch. The pain is blinding. If you hadn't put points into con and leveled up, that bite might have taken your arm off. Warning: HP critical. HP 3/22 status. Bleeding grappled by Boss Jaw. She has you clamped in her jaws. She is shaking you like a rag doll, preparing to crush you. You can smell her toxic breath. Your sword arm is pinned. You are one hit away from death. You scream, not in fear, but in pure defiance. Ignoring the crushing pressure of the Broodmother's jaws on your shoulder, you jam your left hand directly into her milky, blind eye socket. You can feel the wet, squishy resistance of the optic nerve against your gauntlet. You don't pull back. You push deeper. Burn. Concentration check, 19, success. Cast, mana bolt, point blank / internal. Critical hit, X2 damage. Damage, 6, 1d6. X2 is equal to 12 force damage. Boom. A muffled explosion of blue light erupts from inside the Broodmother's skull. Her head jerks back violently, eyes bulging. Smoke pours from her ears and nose. Her jaws go slack, releasing your mangled shoulder. The massive creature sways for a second, lets out a pathetic wheeze, and then collapses sideways into the toxic water with a massive splash. System alert. Boss defeated. Mutated Broodmother. XP gained. 800. Level up. Level $2 / Retro dollar. Level 3. As the life leaves the boss, a shockwave of energy ripples through the room. The 2 remaining bodyguard rats shriek as they are forcefully dissolved into black dust by the dungeon's collapse mechanic. You fall to your knees on the concrete platform, clutching your shoulder. The pain is agonizing. Your collarbone is definitely broken. Then, the golden light descends. Dungeon cleared. Rating, A, heavy damage taken. Reward, full status recovery. The magic washes over you. The bone in your shoulder snaps back into place with a sickening pop, knitting itself together. The puncture wounds in your legs seal up. The toxin in your blood is neutralized. You take a deep, ragged breath, feeling the cool air fill your lungs. Status, HP, 2626, increase for level 3 mana, 20 feet unlocked. Combat casting, +4 to concentration checks when casting defensively. You stand up, fully healed, looming over the dissolving corpse of the boss. 3 items remain on the platform. Broodmother's Fong, a curved dagger made from a tooth. Effect, deals +1d6 acid damage on hit. Plague Rat Cape, a tattered gray cloak. Effect, +2 stealth, +1 fortitude save. Skill rune, Poison Cloud. Crushing this teaches you a spell to release a 10-foot cloud of toxic gas, 2d6 con damage. The blue exit portal swirls open behind you. You scoop up the glowing loot, the Fong, the cape, and the rune, shoving them into your inventory with practiced speed. Then, you turn your attention to the colossal, steaming corpse of the Broodmother. It's already becoming translucent, the edges turning to black smoke. You have maybe 30 seconds before it vanishes completely. You equip the Broodmother's Fong. It feels dangerously sharp, dripping with a faint green ichor. Analyze, you mutter, eyes glowing violet. The wire frame of the beast appears in your vision. A bright red pulse highlights the monster core buried deep beneath the sternum, encased in thick muscle. Survival check. Base, 14 + 0 WIS. Bonus, +2. Analyze guidance, +2. Razor sharp tool total, 18 success. You don't hack. You perform surgery. Guided by the system, you slice through the tough hide and separate the muscle fibers with precision. You reach into the steaming cavity, your hand burning from the residual heat, and your fingers close around something hard and vibrating. You yank it out just as the body dissolves into nothingness. In your palm sits a fist-sized gem, pulsing with a dirty, sickly green light. Item obtained, Broodmother's Core D rank. Type, biological power source value, high potential. Can be sold to the guild or used for crafting high-tier poison weapons. Back on the surface, you step through the portal and emerge back in the abandoned warehouse in Sector 4. The dank air of the warehouse feels like perfume compared to the sewer. The association official at the door glances at your stopwatch, then does a double take. You cleared a nest infestation in under an hour? Solo. He eyes the new cape you're wearing and the confident way you carry yourself. He stamps your permit. Good work, Hunter. The guild pays a premium for clean sweeps. You walk out into the cool evening air. You are now level 3. Level up summary. HP, 26 max mana, 20 max class feature. Your hunter class grants you a bonus feat at level 3. You lock in your decision. You are shifting from a brute force berserker to a precision fighter. Feat selected weapon focus. Short sword, you gain a permanent +1 bonus on all attack rolls made using a short sword. Location, the Hunter Market. You take a cab to the Black Market District, which is actually just a heavily guarded underground mall beneath the subway station. It is teeming with hunters buying potions, selling monster parts, and repairing armor. You approach a vendor with a neon sign that reads, Exchange and Armory. You dump your bag on the counter. The rat tails, the glowing mana shards, the massive iron greatsword, and finally, the pulsating green Broodmother's core. The merchant, a dwarf with cybernetic eye, urban arcana setting, whistles when he sees the core. Fresh kill? Clean extraction. Not bad for a rookie. The transaction. Rat tails x $20 one, 000 mana shards, x $5 500 iron greatsword. $200 scrap value. Broodmother's core, derank $6,500. High demand for poison crafting. Total payout, $8,200 credits. Current wallet, $12 150 credits. I need a blade, you tell him. Short sword. Something that can channel mana. He nods and pulls a sleek, matte black case from under the counter. He opens it to reveal a weapon that drinks the light. Item purchase carbon steel short sword, +1. Cost, $3,000 credits damage. 1d6 +1 magic crit. 19-20/X2 properties. Conductive. Reduces mana cost of arcane strike by 1. You grip the hilt. It's perfectly balanced. Light as a feather compared to the greatsword. With your STR-17, you feel like you could swing this thing fast enough to cut raindrops. The diner. Pocketing your remaining $9,000 credits, you leave the market and find a 24-hour diner. You order 3 steaks, a mountain of fries, and a pitcher of water. You eat like a starving wolf. Your body is metabolizing the mana, and the physical changes rapidly. As you chew, you watch the news on the TV above the counter. They are talking about a spike in dungeon activity in Sector 4, the nest you just cleared. You smile grimly. Home, the resignation. You return to your apartment. It's quiet. The mundane reality of your life sits there waiting for you. The cheap furniture, the pile of bills, the company laptop sitting on the desk. You strip off your gear, storing the carbon sword, plague cape, and Broodmother's Fong in your inventory. You take a long, hot shower, watching the grime and dry green blood swirl down the drain. You sit at your desk, naked from the waist up, water dripping from your hair. You open your work laptop. The screen glow is harsh. You type up the report your boss asked for. It's perfect, flawless data entry. It takes you 10 minutes with your new INT16 brain. Then, you open your email client. To boss subject, resignation. Effective immediately. I am resigning from my position. The report is attached. Don't call me. James Bishop. Click. Sent. You close the laptop. You feel a weight vanish from your shoulders that is heavier than any dungeon boss. You are no longer a data entry clerk. You are a hunter. You lie back on your bed, staring at the ceiling. The blue system window floats silently in the dark. Status. Name, James Bishop level. 3 fighter/mage, HP, 2626 mana, 2020 wealth. $9, 000 credits. Rich for a newbie. Act 1 complete. Morning arrives. You wake up at 10 a.m. No alarm. No commute. Just you and the system. Your phone buzzes. It's not your boss. It's a notification from the Hunter Association app you installed. Notification: new public raid available. Target: the Hollow Tower, C-rank dungeon. Requirement: minimum level 3. Type: 10-man raid group. Note: the association is looking to hire freelancers to fill slots for a raid leading by the Silver Wing Guild. High pay, but you have to follow orders. Alternatively, you could ignore the notification and do your own thing. You embrace the freedom. No alarm clock, no commute, no boss. Just you, the system, and the grind. The morning grind. You head to the park for your run. The 10 kilometers feels effortless now. You are running at a pace that keeps up with city traffic, your breath steady, your heart rate barely elevating. The passers-by are just blurs. Back at the apartment, you knock out the calisthenics. 100 push, ups 100 sit, ups 100 squats. You finish without breaking a sweat. Daily quest completed rewards. Status recovery. HP/mana fully restored. Attribute points. +3. You pull up your status screen. You are sitting at some crucial breakpoints for your stats. Current stats base. STR 15 + 2, 17 with ring DX. 13 + 1 con, 13 + 1 INT, 16 + 3 WIS, 11-0 CHA, 11-0. Decision 1. Stat distribution, you have 3 points. Option A, physical peak put 1, pointing to street DX and CON. This would bump all 3 up to the next even number, giving you a +1 modifier increase in every physical category. Hit harder, better AC, more HP. Option B, magical focus dump all 3 into INT. This would take you to INT 19, massively boosting your spell power and mana pool. The afternoon, arcane research. After lunch, you sit on your living room floor, legs crossed. You place the carbon steel short sword on your lap. You close your eyes and focus on the mana circulating in your body. With INT 16, you don't just feel the magic, you understand its syntax. It's like code. You realize that mana bolt is just raw energy thrown forward. Mage hand is telekinesis. You want to weave something new, something that complements your new fighting style. Decision 2. Research focus. You spend the next 6 hours experimenting, shaping mana, failing, and trying again. What type of spell are you trying to create? Stat distribution. You commit the points to your physical attributes, rounding out your build. Stats updated. STR. $15 / right to $1.16 base +2 ring equals 18 + 4 modifier. Tier reached. Peak human strength DX. $13 / right to $1.14 +2 modifier. .con. $13 / right to $1.14 +2 modifier. Effect. Hit points. Your max HP increases retroactively. Extra +1 HP for levels 1, 2, and 3. New max HP. 29. Armor class. Your base AC increases due to DX. Damage. You're now dealing +4 damage on every swing, plus the sword's magic. You stand up and shadow box for a moment. The movement is fluid, effortless. An 18 strength isn't just gym strong. It's bending steel bar strong. Spell research session. You settle back down. Laptop open to a blank document to record your findings. The system hovering in your vision. You have INT 16, which allows you to grasp the underlying math of magic. Project 1. Passive defense. Goal. Create a barrier that protects you without needing to be cast every 6 seconds. You visualize the mana bolt energy, but instead of projecting it, you try to weave it into a tight mesh over your skin. It's difficult. The mana wants to dissipate. You spend 3 hours finding the right frequency to make it stick. Spellcraft check. 17 + 3 INT equals 20 success. You figure out the trick. You don't cast it once. You create a loop. By locking a portion of your mana pool, you can sustain the field indefinitely. New spell created. Name, Arcane Aegis. Rank, Novice. Type, toggle/buff. Effect, while active, you gain a +4 deflection bonus to AC. Cost, reduces your maximum mana by 3 while active. You can toggle it off to regain the max cap. It's perfect. It's better than armor because it doesn't weigh anything. Project 2. Instant mana recovery. Goal. A spell to restore mana mid-fight. This is harder. The first law of thermodynamics applies even to magic. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. You can't just make mana. It has to come from somewhere. You try to pull it from the air, but the ambient mana in your apartment is too thin. You try to pull it from your own stamina. Spellcraft check. 14 + 3 INT equals 17 partial success. You find a pathway, but it's dangerous. You can't convert stamina fatigue into mana efficiently yet, but you can convert life force, HP. It's a forbidden technique in many fantasy settings, but you are a gamer. You know it as blood magic. New spell created. Name, blood conversion. Rank, dangerous. Type, swift action. Effect, sacrifice 5 HP to instantly recover 5 mana. Restriction, cannot be used if HP is below 10. The C rank opportunity. It is now evening. You are exhausted mentally but physically wired. You have your gear, your new spells, and your stats are maxed out for your level. You check your phone. The notification for the C rank raid is still active. Raid reminder. Operation, Hollow Tower. Organizer, Silver Wing Guild. Meeting point, Sector 2 Plaza, 8 a.m. tomorrow. Role needed, damage dealers / porters. Pay, $5,000 base plus performance bonus. You realize something. C-rank dungeons drop C-rank cores. Those sell for $50,000 plus. If you want to get rich and level up fast, you need to go where the big monsters are. You toggle your new arcane aegis on. Current mana, 17/17, 20 max, 3 reserve. Current AC, 10 plus 2 DX, plus 4 Aegis, plus 1 Gauntlets, equals 17 AC. This is tank level defense. The day ends. You sleep like the dead. The next morning, the raid. You arrive at the Sector 2 Plaza at 7:55 a.m. There are about 15 people gathered. The Silverwing Guild members are easy to spot. They are wearing matching silver-plated armor and carrying high-tech weapons. They look professional, arrogant, and rich. The freelancers like you are a ragtag bunch standing aside. A tall man in shining silver-plate armor with a winged helmet steps forward. This is Gavin, the raid leader, level 5 paladin. All right, listen up, mercs, he shouts. This is a C-rank tower. 10 floors. My team handles the aggro. You freelancers are here to clean up the trash mobs and carry the loot bags. Do not engage elites. Do not steal kills. Do not die. Understood? He looks at you, eyeing your simple clothes, jeans, and a t-shirt, and the gray cape. He sneers slightly, not seeing your armor rating. You there, cape. You look light on your feet. You're on rear guard. Watch our backs respawns. The massive red gate, C rank, swirls open in the center of the plaza. You keep your face neutral and nod. Understood. I'll watch the rear. Gavin grunts, satisfied that the civilian knows his place, and turns back to his team. Formation. Shields up. Move out. You drift to the back of the pack. You are walking alongside 2 other freelancers, a nervous-looking guy carrying a massive backpack, a porter, and a young woman clutching a healing staff who looks like she might throw up, a low-rank healer. The group steps through the red gate. Dungeon, the hollow tower, Sirank. The world shifts. You are standing at the base of a colossal, spiraling stone staircase that winds upward into darkness. The walls are ancient gray brick, floating in a void of pale mist. There are no railings. If you fall off the edge, you fall forever. System alert. Map. The endless spiral environmental effect. High altitude, thin air, slightly increased fatigue buildup. Mana density. High. Move. Gavin shouts. The raid begins its ascent. The Silverwing Guild is efficient. As they climb, stone sentinels, level 4 constructs, detach from the walls. Clang. The guild's tank catches a stone spear on his shield. Boom. The guild mages blast the statues with fire and lightning. They're loud, flashy, and slow. They stop for every fight, shouting commands. You, meanwhile, are bored. You walk silently at the back, your arcane aegis humming invisibly around you, keeping your AC at a fortress-like 17. Floor 4, the ambush, an hour into the climb. The stairs widen into a circular platform. The guild engages a mini-boss, a massive living armor knight. Focus fire on the helm. Gavin screams, engaging the knight in a duel of sparks and steel. The entire guild is looking forward. The porter and the healer next to you are watching the fight with wide eyes, distracted. CR crack, your high WIS 11, and perception pick up the sound instantly. It came from above and behind. You look up. Clinging to the underside of the stairs directly above you are 3 gargoyles. They aren't statues. They are leathery, winged demons with skin like granite. Their eyes glow yellow. They release their grip, diving silently toward the unprotected rear line, straight for the healer and the porter. Initiative, James Bishop. 18 gargoyles, 12 freelancers, 5 frozen in fear. Time slows down. If you shout a warning, the healer dies before the guild can turn around. If you act now, you reveal that you aren't just a baggage carrier. You choose action. Combat start, you draw the carbon steel short sword in a reverse grip. The matte black blade makes no sound. Move. You activate sprint passive, blurring across a stone to intercept the first gargoyle just as it lands behind the healer. Swift action. Arcane strike. You channel 1 mana into the blade. It vibrates with blue force energy. Attack. Target. Gargoyle A midair. Attack roll. 1d20 plus 4 STR, plus 1 focus, plus 1 magic, plus 2 BAB, equals roll. 16 plus 8 is equal to 24. Critical threat. Confirmation. 18 plus 8 is equal to 26. Critical hit. Damage. Weapon. 1d6 plus 5. X2 is equal to 18 arcane strike. 1d4. X2 is equal to 6 force damage total. 24 damage. You catch the gargoyle out of the air. Your sword, wreathed in force energy, punches through its stone chest like it's wet cardboard. The blade severs its spinal column. The creature doesn't even scream. It crumbles into dust instantly. System alert. Instant kill. XP for 150. The other 2 gargoyles land, startled by the sudden death of their packmate. One lunges at you. Gargoyle B attack. Claws swipe at your chest. Roll. 15 versus AC 17, Aegis active. Miss. The stone claws rake across your invisible force field, sparking harmlessly inches from your t-shirt. You pivot, flowing into the next motion. This is where your DX14 and INT16 shine. You don't hack, you dissect. Attack 2. You thrust the blade into the second gargoyle's open mouth. Damage. 1d6 plus 5 plus 1d4 force. Equals 14 damage. It gurgles and dissolves. The third gargoyle tries to flee, launching itself back into the air. You verify no one is looking. The guild is still fighting the night, and you snap your fingers. Cast Mana Bolt. Damage. 1d4 plus 1 is equal to 4 force damage. It clips the gargoyle's wing. It tumbles into the abyss, falling silently into the dark. Combat end. Duration. 6 seconds. The porter is staring at you, mouth open, trembling. The healer is clutching her staff, looking at the pile of dust where a monster was a second ago. You. The porter stammers. You just... Shoo, you say, sheathing your sword. You toss the porter a loot item that dropped from the dust, a gargoyle stone heart. Keep that. We never saw them. Understand. The porter looks at the valuable loot worth $500, then at you and nods vigorously. I saw nothing, just the wind. Up ahead, Gavin finally smashes the living armor knight. Area clear. Good job, team. Rear guard, report. Anything back there? All clear, sir. You shout back, your voice steady. Just shadows playing tricks. We're good back here. Gavin grunts, wiping sweat from his forehead. Keep your eyes open. Civilians always get spooked in towers. He turns back to the front. The porter next to you clutches the gargoyle heart in his pocket, nodding rapidly, sweat dripping down his nose. The healer girl looks at you with a mix of terror and awe, but she stays silent. You have successfully secured your alibi. The ascent, floors 5 and 9. The climb continues. The air grows thinner and colder. By floor 7, the Silverwing Guild members are visibly tiring. The high altitude debuff is eating into their stamina. Their heavy plate armor, usually a symbol of status, is now a burden. They are chugging stamina potions and snapping at each other. You, however, feel fine. Your CON-14 and level 3 physiology, combined with the fact that you aren't wearing 80 pounds of steel, makes this feel like a light hike. You casually carry the healer's heavy pack for her when she starts to stumble. She whispers a "thank you," her face flushing. To the guild, you just look like a helpful pack mule. Floor 10, the summit. Finally, you reach the top. The stairs end at a massive circular arena open to the sky. The wind howls here, whipping your cloak around you. Dark storm clouds swirl directly overhead. In the center of the arena sits a throne made of fused bones and iron. Sitting on it is the boss. It stands up, towering at 8 feet tall. It wears tattered royal robes over black, skeletal armor. It holds a staff tipped with a glowing purple gem in one hand and a jagged sword in the other. System alert. Boss detected. The Hollow Lich C-rank type. Undead/spellcaster status. Mana shield active danger. High. Gavin steps forward, banging his sword on his shield. Formation. Tank in front. Mages, counterspell. Healer. Keep us topped off. We take him down in 5 minutes. The guild charges. The fight. It's a disaster from the start. The Lich raises its staff. Gravity well. A purple circle appears on the floor. The guild's main tank, weighed down by his heavy armor, instantly collapses to his knees, pinned by increased gravity. I can't move, he screams. The Lich laughs, a dry, rasping sound, and points its sword. Bone spear. 3 massive spikes of bone erupt from the ground, skewering the guild's 2 DPS rangers. They scream, falling back, bleeding out. Healer! Healer! Gavin shouts, panic creeping into his voice. Get them up. The guild's healer rushes forward, but the Lich casts silence. A gray bubble expands, and the healer chokes, her spells failing in her throat. Gavin charges the Lich solo, swinging his holy sword. The blade strikes the Lich's mana shield with a deafening gong, bouncing off harmlessly. The Lich backhands Gavin with the force of a truck, sending the level 5 paladin skidding across the stone floor, his helmet dented. The crisis. The Silverwing Guild is broken. The tank is pinned. The DPS are down. The healer is silenced, and the leader is dazed. The Lich turns its glowing purple eyes toward the back of the room, toward the useless freelancers, toward you, the porter, and the healer girl. It raises its staff. The purple gem begins to charge with a massive spell. Death Coil. System warning. High energy signature detected. Spell, Greater Death Coil, area of effect. Damage estimate. Lethal to non-tanks. If that spell hits, the porter and the healer girl next to you are dead. You might survive with your HP and Aegis, but they will be vaporized. The pros are down. No one is watching you except the terrified freelancers at your side. The world narrows to a single point, the pulsing purple throat of the Lich. Blood conversion. You whisper. A sharp, cold pain spikes in your chest as the system siphons your vitality to fuel your mana circuits. HP consumed. $29 / $24. Mana surge. Overcharge. You don't run. You vanish. The stone floor beneath your sneaker explodes into dust. The air screams as you break the sound barrier of the room. To the guild members lying on the floor, you are nothing but a distortion in the air, a blur of gray cloak and black steel. The Lich sees you. Its glowing purple eyes widen in genuine fear. It tries to snap the death coil spell shut, but it is moving in slow motion compared to you. You are already inside its guard. You channel every ounce of your available mana into the carbon steel short sword. The conductive metal drinks the energy, glowing with a blinding azure radiance. Arcane strike, max output. You don't slash. You thrust. A perfect, frictionless piercing strike driven by 18 strength and the momentum of a supersonic dash. Crack. Your blade hits the Lich's mana shield, the same barrier that stopped Gavin's holy sword cold. But your blade isn't just steel, it's pure force energy. The shield buckles, fractures like glass, and then shatters into a million sparks. The tip of your sword doesn't stop. It drives upward under the Lich's jaw, punching through bone and rotting flesh, exiting to the top of its skull. The purple light in the Lich's eyes flickers once, then dies. Boom! The shockwave of your arrival finally catches up, blowing the clouds of dust away and knocking the kneeling porter onto his back. System alert. Critical hit. Damage. 52 massive damage threshold exceeded. Target. The Hollow Lich C rank. Status. Eliminated. You rip the blade free with a wet squelch. The massive skeleton collapses into a pile of robes and dust. Dungeon cleared. XP gained. 2,500 solo kill bonus applied. Level up. Level $3 / right to $1 level 4. Silence descends on the arena. The wind howls, but the ominous magic is gone. You stand over the pile of dust, chest heaving slightly, the blue light fading from your sword. You slowly sheath the blade. Behind you, Gavin, the level 5 paladin, pushes himself up on the floor, his helmet crooked. He stares at you. The healer girl is gaping. The tank is still pinned to the ground, though the gravity spell is fading. You. Gavin wheezes, clutching his ribs. What? Who are you? Status. HP. 2429. Level up will heal this shortly. Mana. 2020 current situation. You just solo killed a C rank boss in one hit in front of a major guild. Your cover as a porter is obliterated. You offer a casual shrug, sliding your sword back into its matte black sheath with a click. I just poked the soft spot. You say, your voice calm. You guys cracked the shield and exhausted him. He was barely standing when I hit him. Good teamwork. Gavin stares at you. His knuckles are white around the hilt of his holy sword. He looks at the pile of dust that used to be a C rank boss, then at his battered team, and finally back at you. He's doing the math. If he admits you, a random freelancer, soloing the boss, his guild looks incompetent. If he accepts your lie, he can spin this as a silver wing victory where a scout landed the finishing blow on a weakened enemy. His ego makes the decision for him. Right. Gavin coughs, standing up straighter and sheathing his weapon. Exactly as planned. We broke his defenses, and the rear guard cleaned up. Good initiative, rookie. He turns to his team, barking orders to hide his shaking hands. All right, Silver Wings. Form up, grab the injured, and let's get out of here. The porter next to you is staring at you with wide, terrified eyes. You catch his gaze and put a finger to your lips. He gulps and nods frantically. The healer girl, however, is watching you with intense curiosity. You turn to the pile of dust. A single item rests on top of the black robes. Loot obtained. Ring of the Hollow King. Rank. C rare. Effect. +2 intelligence. Passive mana siphon. Restores 1 mana whenever you kill an enemy. You pocket the ring instantly. The guild is too busy licking their wounds to contest the drop, and technically, the killer keeps the loot. Rule applies in freelance contracts. The payout. Back outside in the Sector 2 plaza, the fresh air tastes sweet. The guild representative handles the payouts quickly, eager to make you leave so they can debrief. Base pay. $5,000, the rep says, handing you a credit chip, plus a performance bonus of $2,000 for the assist. Total payout, $7,000. You take the money and walk away. You can feel Gavin watching your back as you disappear into crowd, but he doesn't stop you. Home base, level up. You return to your apartment and lock the door. You sit on the edge of your bed and pull up the system. The rush of the fight is finally fading, replaced by the warm glow of advancement. Level up. Level $3 / right to $1 level 4. HP increased. $29 / right to $1.34. +5 for fighter/mage hybrid plus con mod. Mana increased. $20 / right to $1.24. Base attack bonus. +3 / right to $1 +4. Milestone reached. Ability score increase. At level 4, you gain 1 ability point to add to any stat. Current stats base. STR 16, 18 with ring DX. 14 CON. 14 INT. 16 + 2 W/new ring equals 18 WIS. 11 CHA. 11. Note regarding the new ring. You equip the ring of the Hollow King. New INT. 16 base +2 ring equals 18 +4 modifier. This is massive. Your spell save DCs just went up, your bonus spells increased, and your mana efficiency is through the roof. You have 1 ability point to assign. You select DX for your level 4 attribute point. Stats updated. DX, $14 backslash right to $1.15 plus 2 modifier. Note, you are now extremely agile. Your reflex saves and initiative are sharper, and you are 1 point away from a plus 3 modifier. The daily grind. You head out for your daily routine, with your stats now pushing into the realm of superhuman. The workout is becoming less a challenge and more of a maintenance ritual. 10 kilometers run. You breeze through it, your legs moving with the precision of a machine. Calisthenics. The 300 reps feel like a warm-up. As you finish the final squat in your living room, the familiar golden light washes over you. Daily quest completed. Rewards. Status recovery. HP/mana fully restored. Attribute points. Plus 3. Available to distribute. You now have 3 more points sitting in your buffer, waiting to be assigned. We will handle this at the end of the turn. The Hunter Forum. You sit at your desk with a protein shake. Opening your laptop, you navigate to HunterNet, the underground forum for licensed and unlicensed raiders. You scroll to the raid reports and rumors. Sector 2 board. It didn't take long. A thread titled Silverwing Guild C-Rank Clear. Something smells fishy is already trending. User, Raid Watcher 88. Saw Gavin and the Silverwings coming out of the hollow tower this morning. They looked wrecked. Gavin's armor was dented to hell, and their main tank was being carried on a stretcher. Yet they claim a clean clear? No way a level 5 paladin soloed a C-Rank Lich in that condition. User, Tank or Swim. I heard from a guy who knows their porter. Apparently, the boss was dead in 10 seconds. Said a shadow killed it. User, Silver Fanboy, verified guild member. Stop spreading rumors. Commander Gavin executed a perfect strategy. The shadow was probably just the Lich glitching out before it died. Silverwing is top tier. Deal with it. User, Anon_healer_002. I was there. It wasn't a glitch. The freelancer in the gray cloak. He didn't even use a spell. He just poked it. I've never seen anything move that fast. Hashtag, who is the porter? You smirk. Anon_healer_002 is definitely the girl from the raid. Your secret is technically out, but it's buried in a sea of internet arguments and disbelief. For now, you are just an urban legend. System notification. Reputation update. The Gray Porter rumor is circulating. Notoriety, low, local. Status management. You have 3 attribute points from the daily quest to assign. Current stats, base. STR, 16, 18 with ring, DX. 15 plus 2 con. 14 plus 2 INT. 16, 18 with ring, WIS. 11, 0, CHA. 11, 0. Where do you want to put the 3 daily points? Tip. Boosting DX to 16 gets you that plus 3 modifier. Boosting INT makes your spell stronger. Boosting STR makes you a monster. Stat distribution. You focus on your agility and durability. The system rewrites your physiology, knitting your muscle fibers tighter and accelerating your neural pathways. Stats updated. DX. $15 backslash right to $1.16 plus 3 modifier. Tier reached. Supernatural reflexes con. $14 backslash right to $1.16 plus 3 modifier. Tier reached. Juggernaut vitality. Status effects. AC. 10 plus 3 DX plus 4 Aegis plus 1 item equals 18 AC.HP. $34 backslash right to $1.38 retroactive adjustment. Initiative. Plus 3. The market run. You pull on a hoodie to obscure your face. No need to be recognized as a gray porter just yet. And head back to the underground market. The atmosphere is tense. The news of the Hollow Lich Clear has the market buzzing. You ignore the chatter and head straight to the alchemist's pot for supplies. 1 consumables. I need standard healing potions. The good stuff, you tell the clerk. He slides a box of 5 vials across the counter. The liquid inside is a deep, rich red, not the watery pink stuff newbies buy. Item purchased. Standard healing potion, X5. Cost, $2,500 credits, $500 each. Effect, restores 2d8 plus 3 HP instantly. 2. The spell hunt. Next, you visit Forbidden Tomes, a dusty shop tucked in the back corner of the market, smelling of old parchment and ozone. You ask the proprietor, a withered old woman with violet eyes, for a spell to create minions. Minions, she cackles softly. You want to play God, boy? Construct magic is expensive. Necromancy is frowned upon. I want something to bind mana. You clarify, to make use of what I kill. She studies you for a moment, her eyes lingering on the ring of the Hollow King on your finger. She recognizes the aura. She reaches under the counter and pulls out a dark, heavy book bound in slate gray leather. This came from a cleared dungeon in Sector 9. It's not standard necromancy. It's binding magic. Very finicky. Very expensive. You use Analyze. Item detected. Grimoire, Mana Puppet, rank C. Type, Spellbook. Effect, allows the caster to infuse a fresh corpse, monster only, with mana, animating it as a temporary thrall. Limit, 1 minion at a time. Minion persists for 1 hour per caster level. Price, $10,000 credits. It's exactly what you wanted. It uses your mana to drive the body, rather than an evil spirit. A clean necromancy. I'll take it, you say. Transaction summary. Wallet, $16, 150 potions. $2, 500 spell book. $10, 000 remaining funds. $3, 650 credits. The test. You return home with your prizes. You sit on your floor and open the grimoire. The symbols are complex, spiraling geometric patterns that hurt your eyes to look at. But with INT 18, you force the logic into your brain. Learning spell. Spellcraft check. 18 plus 4 INT equals 22. Success. Spell learned. Mana Puppet level 2 spell. Casting time 1 minute. Cost 10 mana. Max mana reduced by 2 while minion is active. Target 1 corpse, medium or small. Stats. Minion retains 50% of its original HP and physical stats. It cannot use magic. You have the spell. Now you need a corpse to test it on. It is late afternoon. You have full HP, 38, and mana, 24. You are broke relatively, but you are armed to the teeth. You purchase a permit for the Stone Garden, $200 fee, and head to the city park in Sector 5. The gate is located inside a stone gazebo. The air around it hums with a heavy, grounding vibration. You step through. Dungeon. The Stone Garden. The world shifts into grayscale. You are in a manicured garden where the trees, the grass, and the flowers are all carved from different types of gray stone. The sky is a flat, featureless white void. The sound of grinding rocks echoes ahead. You activate Arcane Aegis. System. Max mana. 24 Rytero 21 reserved. AC 18 shield active. You round a corner and find them. Standing guard before a stone bridge are 2 clay sentinels. They look like terracotta warriors, but 7 feet tall and armed with heavy stone halberds. Enemy detected. Target. Clay sentinel LVL3 X2. Type construct. Defense. High DR5/adamantine. Weakness. Sonic/force. They spot you. Their eyes ignite with a dull orange light. They stomp forward, the ground shaking with each step. Initiative. James Bishop. 16 plus 3 is equal to 19. Sentinels. 8. Combat start. You are faster. Much faster. You dash forward, your carbon steel short sword glowing with blue mana as you channel Arcane Strike, -1 mana. You slide under the slow, clumsy swing of the first Sentinel's halberd. The heavy stone weapon smashes into the ground where you were a split second ago. You pop up inside its guard. Attack. 16 plus 8 is equal to 24 hit. Damage. 1d6 plus 5 weapon plus 1d4 force equals 14 damage. Your magic blade slices into the clay torso like a hot knife through butter. The damage reduction is ignored because your weapon is magical and infused with force. The sentinel staggers, a glowing crack appearing across its chest. It tries to backhand you. Sentinel attack. 12 versus AC 18. Miss. The stone fist glances off your invisible Aegis barrier with a spark. You spin and deliver a backhand slash to its neck. Attack. 18 plus 8 is equal to 26 hit. Damage. 13 damage. The sentinel's head crumbles into gravel. The body collapses into a pile of lifeless clay shards and a glowing earth core. The second sentinel roars, the sound of grinding stones, and charges. You dodge the second sentinel's thrust and weave a mana bolt into its knee joint. Force damage shatters clay leg, toppling it. You finish it with a thrust to the chest. Combat victory. XP gained, 400. The experiment. You stand over the remains of the first sentinel. It is mostly intact, save for the missing head. You open your grimoire mentally and begin the incantation for Mana Puppet. It takes a full minute of chanting and weaving mana. You pour your energy into the clay shell. Mana consumed, 10 points. Max mana, reduced by 2 while minion exists. Current mana, 9/19, effective. Blue veins of light begin to spread through the gray clay. The shards of the head float up and reassemble, fused together by your blue mana. The orange light in its eyes is replaced by a cold, subservient blue glow. The massive stone warrior creaks as it stands up. It towers over you, awaiting orders. Minion created name, Clay Thrall 01 HP. 15/30, 50% of original. AC, 16, natural armor, attack. Stone halberd, +5 to hit, 1d10 +3 damage trait. Mindless, follow simple verbal commands. It works. You have a tank. Status, HP, 38 mana. 9/19, low. You spent a lot on the summon. Minion, Clay Thrall, full HP. You collect the loot from the second sentinel. Small earth core, value, $300. You look across the bridge. The path leads up a rocky hill to a large mausoleum where the boss awaits. You retreat to a quiet corner of the garden, hidden behind a hedge of stone roses. You sit in the lotus position, commanding your clay thrall to stand guard. Rest and recovery, you close your eyes and focus on your breathing, cycling the mana through your core. Your hunter physiology accelerates the natural recovery rate. Time pass, 1 hour. Mana regeneration, +10 mana. Current mana, 19/19. Max capacity is capped due to active spells. You open your eyes. You are topped off. Your silent stone bodyguard is still standing there, motionless, waiting for input. Let's go to work, you say. Farming the garden. You move deeper into the garden, hunting for patrols. You spot another pair of clay sentinels wandering near a dried-up stone fountain. Attack the one on the left. You order, pointing your finger. Engagement one your thrall acknowledges with a grinding noise and stomps forward. It's slow, but it draws their attention instantly. Thrall attack. It swings its halberd clumsily. Hit. 6 damage. Enemy reaction. Both sentinels turn on your minion, ignoring you. Tanking. The sentinels hack at your thrall. Chips of clay fly off its shoulder, but it doesn't flinch. It absorbs the hits that would have forced you to dodge. This is the opening you needed. You sprint from the bushes, flanking them. Your attack. You come in from behind. Arcane strike plus sneak attack logic flanking. Result. You shatter the first sentinel's spine in one combo. It falls. The second sentinel is still trying to fight your minion. You casually hamstring it and decapitate it. XP gained. 400 loot. Small Earth Core X2. You repeat this process 2 more times as you clear the path to the mausoleum. Your strategy is efficient. The thrall is the anvil. You are the hammer. Farming results. Enemies defeated. 6 clay sentinels. XP gained. 1,200 total. Loot. 6 small earth cores. Total value. $1,800. Thrall status. It has taken a beating. Its left arm is cracked, and chunks of its chest are missing. Thrall HP. 5/30 critical. The mausoleum entrance. You stand before the massive iron gates of the central mausoleum. The garden behind you is silent, littered with piles of gravel. Your clay thrall is limping. It won't survive another fight, but it served its purpose perfectly. System alert. Dungeon Boss. The Marble Guardian level 5 status. Dormant inside. You have cleared the trash mobs. You are warmed up. Your mana is at roughly 80%. Spent some on arcane strikes during farming. Status. HP 3838 mana. 15/19 loot bag. Heavy with cores. Minion. 5 HP, 1 hit from death. You decide to patch up your tank. Since the clay thrall is sustained entirely by your magic, logic dictates that feeding it more mana and raw material should repair the damage. You drag the corpse of a fallen sentinel over to your thrall. You place your hands on your minion's cracked chest and focus. You don't have a specific repair spell, so you have to brute force it using your knowledge of mana weaving. Intelligence check, spellcraft. Roll. 16 plus 4 INT equals 20 success. You strip clay from the dead enemy and press it into the cracks of your thrall. You channel raw mana through your palms. The blue energy acts as a welder, fusing the new clay instantly with the old. The cracks seal up. The missing chunk of its shoulder reforms. Mana used, 5 points. Effect, Clay Thrall. Repairs 20 HP. Updated status. James Mana, 10/19 half tank, but enough for a fight. Thrall HP, 25/30 operational. The boss room. You go first, you command. The thrall pushes open the massive iron gates of the mausoleum. They groan on rusted hinges. The interior is a circular chamber dominated by a large marble sarcophagus. Standing before it is the boss. Boss detected. The Marble Guardian. Rank, level 5 elite construct. Appearance, a pristine white marble statue of a Roman centurion, 9 feet tall. It wields a massive tower shield and a gladius that crackles with electricity. Defense, extremely high. Marble is harder than clay. The Guardian turns its head. Its eyes ignite with white lightning. Initiative, James Bishop. 15 plus 3 is equal to 18 Marble Guardian. 10 Clay Thrall. 8. Combat start. You are fast, but you hold your action for a split second. You need the boss to commit to a target that isn't you. The Guardian roars, the sound of grinding tectonic plates, and charges the first thing it sees, your thrall. Boss action. It slams into your thrall like a freight train. Attack, shield bash. Roll, 22 hit. Damage, 12 bludgeoning plus stun effect. Your clay thrall is knocked backward. Stumbling, chunks of its newly repaired chest flying off, but it stays standing. It has successfully grabbed aggro. Your turn. The boss's back is exposed. Its shield is turned away from you. You treat your minion like a piece of cover, sprinting while the Marble Guardian is mid-shield bash. You launch yourself off the Guardian's bent knee, vaulting upward. You channel your mana into the blade, not just a coating, but a concentrated point at the tip. Pierce. Attack roll, 16 plus 11 bonuses, equals 27 hit. Damage, 1d6 plus 4, plus 2d6 vital spot, plus 1d4 force, equals 24 damage. Crack. Your carbon steel sword sinks deep into the seam of the Guardian's neck, where the marble head meets the torso. You feel the resistance of stone, then the sudden give as the force energy shatters the internal mechanism. Blue sparks and white lightning erupt from the wound. The Guardian stiffens, dropping its shield. It flails blindly, swinging the electric gladius in a wild, horizontal arc to get you off its back. Reflex save. DC 15. You roll 14 plus 3 DX equals 17. Success. You kick off its back, backflipping through the air just as the lightning-wreathed blade slices through the space you occupied a microsecond ago. You land gracefully 10 feet away. The Guardian is stumbling. Its head is hanging loose, sparking violently. It is blinded and disoriented. Thrall. Restrain, you command. Your battered clay thrall, obeying instantly, drops its weapon and bear hugs the Guardian from behind, pinning its arms. The Guardian struggles, the marble grinding against clay, but the grapple holds for just a second. It's an execution setup. You stop 10 feet away, watching the massive marble centurion struggle uselessly against the grip of your crumbling clay minion. The Guardian's head is already cracked, Sparks spitting from the exposed neck mechanism. You raise your right hand, pointing your index finger like a gun at the statue's face. You don't need a chant. You just need intention. Bang. Cast, mana bolt. Target. Exposed neck mechanism. Damage, 5, 1d4 plus 1. Force damage. A condensed sphere of blue force slams into the cracked marble. Boom. The Guardian's head doesn't just break. It detonates. Shards of white marble rain down like shrapnel. The lightning in its gladius flickers and dies instantly. The massive body goes limp, sliding out of your thrall's grip and crashing the floor with a sound like a collapsing building. System alert. Boss defeated. The Marble Guardian. XP gained, 1,500. Dungeon cleared. You walk over the pile of rubble. Your clay thrall stands there, missing half its face and one arm from the struggle, awaiting your next command. It looks like a war relic. You sift through the remains of the boss. Loot obtained. Guardian's Core, C-Rank a pulsing white orb. Value, $8,000. Lightning fragment. The hilt of the broken gladius. Can be used to add shock damage to a weapon. Marble plate. Crafting material. Debrief. You step out of the stone garden gate, back into the Sector 5 park. The sun is setting, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple. You dismiss the mana puppet spell. Your clay thrall crumbles into a pile of lifeless dirt inside the dungeon before the portal closes. Max mana restored, 19 right arrow 21. Current status. HP, 3838 mana, 924 its wallet. $3, 600 credits, liquid. Inventory. Guardian Core value, $8,000. Small Earth Core's X6 value, $1,800. Lightning fragment, crafted material. You have had a very productive day. You leveled up, learned a new spell, cleared 2 dungeons, 1 raid, 1 solo, and made a small fortune in loot. You head straight back to the underground market. The adrenaline is fading, replaced by the heavy fatigue of using high-tier magic. But you have business to finish. The upgrade. You find Hephaestus's hammer, a workshop that smells of burning ozone and hot metal. You hand over your carbon steel short sword and the lightning fragment. Nasty piece of rock. The blacksmith grunts, gripping the sparking hilt fragment with heavy tongs. I can fuse this into the fuller of the blade. It won't be subtle, though. Do it, you say, handing over $2,000 credits. He clamps your sword into a vise and brings a runic hammer down on the fragment. Clang. Hiss. The magic binds. Blue arcs of electricity crawl up the matte black steel. When he hands it back, the weapon hums with a low, threatening vibration. Weapon upgraded Storm Edge short sword, +1. Damage, 1d6 plus 1 magic, plus 1d6 lightning. Effect, shocking. Chance to stun constructs / machines on crit. Conductive, still reduces arcane strike cost. It's a beauty. Now you deal physical plus force plus lightning damage on every swing. The payday. Next stop, the exchange. You dump the heavy bag of cores on the counter. Guardian's Core, C-Rank $8,000. Small Earth Cores, X6 $1,800. The credits hit your account instantly. Wallet update. $3,600 base, $2,000 Smith, plus $9,800 loot, equals $11,400 credits. You are back in the 5-figure club. The crash. You stumble out of the market and hail a cab. You barely remember the ride home. You unlock your apartment door, kick off your boots, and collapse onto the bed fully clothed. You don't even check the system. Your brain shuts down the moment your head hits the pillow. Sleep mode, active, restoring HP, restoring mana, synthesizing skill experience. Tuesday morning, day 4. You wake up to sunlight streaming through your cheap blinds. You feel incredible. The deep ache in your muscles is gone, replaced by the coiled energy of a level 4 hunter. Daily quest reset. Running, 0/10 km push-ups, 0 out of 100 sit-ups, 0/100 squats, 0 out of 100. Current status. HP, 3838 mana, 2424 full cap, no active spells. Wallet, $11 for 100 equipment. Storm Edge Sword, Ring of the Hollow King, +2 INT, Plague Rat Cape, +2 Stealth. You check your phone while drinking coffee. You have a message from an unknown number. Mr. Bishop, we noticed your performance in the Hollow Tower yesterday. We have a private contract that requires discretion, high difficulty, high pay. Meet at the Blue Velvet Club in Sector 1 at noon if interested. It could be a job. It could be a trap. With your stats pushing toward the limits of human potential, the 10 kilometers run is barely a warm-up. You feel like a high-performance engine idling. You finish the run in under 30 minutes, barely sweating. Back in the apartment, the push-ups and squats are explosive. You move with a frightening speed and precision. Daily quest completed. Rewards. Status recovery. Complete. Attribute points. +3. You assign the points immediately. +1 STR. +1 DX. +1 CON. Stats updated. STR. 16 right arrow 17. +2 ring equals 19. 1 point away from modifier increase DX. 16 right arrow 17. 1 point away from modifier increase con. 16 right arrow 17. 1 point away from modifier increase. Analysis. You are currently sitting at the threshold of the next tier of power across the board. You are fast, tough, and incredibly strong. Preparation. You shower, scrubbing off the city grit. You dress for Sector 1. Black jeans, a clean slate gray shirt, and a dark jacket. It's smart casual, but loose enough to fight in. You strap the sheath of your Storm Edge short sword horizontally across the small of your back, hidden under the jacket. You slip the Broodmother's thong into your boot. You check the mirror. You don't look like a data entry clerk anymore. You look like trouble. Sector 1, the Blue Velvet. You take a maglev train to the upper district. The air here smells different, cleaner, filtered. The buildings are glass and white stone. The Blue Velvet is an upscale jazz lounge. The bouncer checks your ID, glances at the hunter designation, and nods you through without a pat-down. Inside, the lighting is dim and blue. Soft saxophone music fills the air. It smells of expensive cigars and perfume. You spot the table immediately. A private booth in the back. A woman is sitting there. She has sharp, angular features, pale skin, and is wearing a white business suit that costs more than your apartment. She is sipping a martini. You sit down opposite her. Mr. Bishop, she says, her voice cool and professional. She doesn't offer a hand. I'm Ms. Vane. I represent the Helios Corporation. She taps the table. A holographic privacy screen shimmers into existence around the booth, dampening the sound. We saw the footage from the Hollow Tower. Specifically, the part where you move faster than the frame rate of the Guild's cameras could capture. We value efficiency. The job. She slides a datapad across the table. One of our research executives has a private estate in the hills. Last night, a gate opened in his wine cellar. It's a D-rank reading, but it's unstable. She looks you in the eye. We cannot call the association. If they find out a gate opened there, they will seize the property for safety reasons and uncover sensitive corporate assets stored in that cellar. We need a freelancer to go in, kill the boss, and close the gate. Quietly. Today, the offer. The pay is $20,000 credits. Plus, you keep any loot found inside. The catch. The gate is emitting a strange signal. Our scanner suggests it's a doppelganger-type dungeon. It mimics the fears or memories of those who enter. Standard hunters usually panic. We think your unique psychological profile might be suited for it. Status. HP. 3838 mana. 2424 current funds. $11 for 100 offer. $20,000 plus loot. You lean back in the booth, crossing your arms. You hold her gaze, letting the silence stretch just long enough to be uncomfortable. You're paying for silence, Ms. Vane, not just a kill. Unstable gates mean mental contamination. Doppelgangers dig into your head. If I'm going to risk my sanity to save your boss's wine collection and his reputation, I want $30,000. Charisma check. Base. 14 plus 0 CHA bonus. +2 leverage. They are desperate for discretion. Total, 16, success. Ms. Vane's expression doesn't change, but she taps a finger on the table. She respects a hustle. Fine, she says, her voice clipped. $10,000 up front. $20,000 upon closure. But if even a whisper of this leaks, Helios Corporation lawyers will bury you so deep you'll need a shovel to find sunlight. She pings your account. Payment received, plus $10,000 credits. Current wallet, $21,400. The car is waiting outside. The estate. The ride is silent. You are taken to a sprawling mansion in the private hills of Sector 1. The security is tight. Private military contractors with assault rifles patrol the perimeter. You are ushered through the back entrance, past a nervous-looking executive in a silk robe, and down into the wine cellar. The cellar is vast, lined with vintage bottles worth more than your life. In the center of the room, displacing a rack of Pinot Noir, is the gate. It doesn't look like the swirling blue portals you are used to. It is a jagged tear in reality, glitching with static like a corrupt video file. It hums with a dissonant, headache-inducing noise. Close it, the executive whispers. Please. You draw your Storm-Edge short sword, check the charge on your arcane aegis, and step through the glitched dungeon. You emerge on the other side. You are still in the wine cellar, but it's wrong. The geometry is stretched. The wine racks extend infinitely upward into darkness. The floor is covered in an inch of water that reflects the ceiling perfectly. Too perfectly. System alert. Dungeon type. Mirror labyrinth, D-rank unstable. Environmental effect. Paranoia. Wisdom saves required periodically. You walk forward. The water ripples, but the reflection in the water doesn't match your movements. The reflection, James, in the water is looking at you, grinning. Suddenly, the reflection stops grinning. It reaches up out of the water. A figure pulls itself from the floor. It looks exactly like you. Same gray jacket. Same sword. But its skin is obsidian black, and its eyes are white static. Enemy detected. Target. Shadow Doppelganger Level 3. Trait. Mimicry. Copies target stats and fighting style. The doppelganger draws a black sword. It adopts your exact stance. Initiative. James Bishop. 17 plus 3 is equal to 20 doppelganger. 17 plus 3 is equal to 20 speed tie. It moves when you move. It is a perfect mirror. If you swing, it swings. If you block, it blocks. You calculate the trajectory. If the doppelganger is a perfect mirror, it reacts to input. You need to provide false input. INT check, combat strategy. Roll 19 plus 4, INT equals 23. Success. You step in with a heavy, committed overhand swing. Your muscles tense. Your eyes lock on its head. The doppelganger reads the telegraph move perfectly. It raises its black blade into a high guard to parry the strike. Exactly as you would. The feint. At the very last microsecond, you kill your momentum. You don't swing. You drop your center of gravity, letting the sword fall harmlessly to your side. The doppelganger is stuck in the block animation for a fraction of a second. Its blade raised high against an attack that isn't coming. Its torso is wide open. Got you. You snap your left hand forward, palm open. Cast, mana bolt. Target. Exposed chest. Damage. 1d4 plus 1 is equal to 4 force damage. Thud. The bolt impacts the shadow's chest like a sledgehammer. The symmetry shatters. The creature is blasted backward, its feet lifting off the water, sliding across the wet floor. It flails, trying to regain balance. But you are already moving. You activate sprint, closing the gap before it can recover. Your sword hums with the blue light of arcane strike and the white crackle of the lightning fragment. Attack. 18 plus 8 is equal to 26. Hit. Damage. 1d6 steel, plus 1 magic, plus 1 focus, plus 1d4 force, plus 1d6 lightning total. 19 damage. ZZ's a crack. You drive the blade through the shadow's chest. The electricity discharges instantly, frying its unstable form. The creature convulses, letting out a sound like dial-up internet screeching, and then explodes into pixelated black dust. Enemy defeated. XP gained. 400 loot. Shadow dust. Crafting material for stealth gear. The heart of the glitch. You scoop up the dust and press deeper into the cellar. The infinite wine racks abruptly end. You stand in a large, circular chamber. The floor here is made entirely of mirror. The ceiling is a mirror. You are standing in a box of reflections. In the center floats the dungeon boss. It is a floating, jagged shard of glass the size of a door. Inside the reflection of the glass, you see yourself. But this version of you is twisted. It has red eyes, horns, and is wearing the full armor of a demon king. Boss detected. The mirror of hubris, D-rank. Type, psionic/construct. Ability, reflection damage. Attack in the mirror directly reflects 50% damage back to you. Weakness, the frame. The reflection in the glass speaks. You think you are strong, James? You are just a clerk playing dress-up. Look at you. You enjoy the violence. You aren't a hunter, you're a monster. Psychic attack. Will save. 12 plus 0 WIS equals 12. Marginal failure. A spike of headache hits you. You take 2 psychic damage. The voice is digging into your insecurities. The mirror begins to spin. Beams of red light lasers shoot from its surface, sweeping across the room. You focus your eyes on the gilded, ornate rim holding the shard of glass. The red lasers sweep across the room, scorching the walls. Reflex save. Roll. 16 plus 3 DX plus 1 base equals 20 success. You move like liquid. You slide under a horizontal beam, the heat singing the air above your nose. You pivot on your heel, using the momentum to launch yourself at the floating mirror. You don't slash, you chop. You aim your blade at the top right corner of the frame. Attack roll, called Shot 18 plus 8, is equal to 26 hit. Damage, 1d6 plus 5 base, plus 1 magic, plus 1d4 force, plus 1d6 lightning, equals 17 damage. Crack, your blade bites deep into the golden metal. The lightning enchantment discharges into conductive frame, frying the magical bindings holding the glass in place. The Demon King reflection inside the mirror screams, a sound like grinding metal. The glass spiderwebs, cracks spreading from the corner where you struck. No, I will not be silenced. I am you. The mirror of hubris vibrates violently. It stops spinning. The red lasers vanish, replaced by a sucking vortex of gray wind. It is try to pull you inside the glass to trap your soul. Strength check, resist pull. DC 15, you have STR 19 plus 4. Roll. 12 plus 4 is equal to 16 success. You dig your boots into the mirror floor, sliding inches toward the glass, but you hold your ground. The boss is stationary, its frame cracked, its defense compromised. Finish it. You grip your sword with both hands. You pump a massive surge of mana into the blade, more than usual. Shatter. Attack roll, natural 20, critical threat. Confirmation, 19 plus 8 is equal to 27 confirmed. Critical damage, 1d6 plus 5, x2 plus 1d6 lightning, equals 24 damage. You bring the blade down on the bottom rim of the frame. Smash! The frame buckles. The tension breaks. The massive shard of glass explodes into a million non-magical fragments. The Demon King image vanishes instantly. System alert. Boss defeated. Mirror hubris. XP gained. 800. Dungeon cleared. The room dissolves. The infinite wine racks fade. The water vanishes. You are standing back in the real wine cellar. The air is quiet. The jagged glitch gate is gone. At your feet lies a pile of broken glass and a single pristine item. Loot obtained. Shard of truth, accessory/charm. Rank, D rare. Effect, +2 wisdom. Passive, clarity. Gain advantage on saving throws against illusions and mind control. You pick up the shard. It feels cool to the touch. The debrief. The cellar door opens. The executive rushes in, flanked by Ms. Vane. He looks frantically around the room. His precious wine collection is intact mostly. The eerie humming noise is gone. "It's done," he gasps. "It's done. You say, sheathing your sword. You toss the shard of truth into your pocket. Ms. Vane nods, checking a scanner in her hand. Readings are normal. The spatial tear is sealed. She taps her datapad. Payment received. Plus $20,000 credits. Current wallet, $41,400. Helios Corporation thanks you for your discretion, Mr. Bishop. Vane says smoothly. This never happened. What never happened? You reply, walking past him toward the stairs. Tuesday evening, the aftermath. You are back in your apartment. You are rich by civilian standards, powerful, and currently one of the most promising unknown hunters in the city. Status: HP 3638, minor psychic damage recovered quickly. Mana 20/24.wallet, $41 for 100. Level. For progress, 25%. New item, Shard of Truth plus 2 WIS. You equip the shard. Stats updated. WIS 11 to 13 plus 1 modifier. You sit on your couch, looking at your bank account balance. You have enough money to move out of this dump. You have enough money to buy serious gear. You sit at your desk, clearing away the empty takeout containers. You reach into your inventory and pull out the skill rune, Poison Cloud. It's a jagged stone etched with a glowing green symbol that smells faintly of sulfur and rot. You've been carrying it around since the sewer dungeon, ignoring it in favor of raw damage. But after the mirror fight, you realize you need area control. You hold the stone in your palm and push your mana into it. Intelligence check. Roll. 15 plus 4 INT equals 19 success. The stone cracks. Green smoke hisses out, spiraling up your arm and entering your nose and mouth. It chokes you for a second, a burning sensation in your lungs, before your body adapts. The knowledge settles into your mind. You understand the chemical composition of magical toxins now. Spell learn name. Poison Cloud rank. Novice level 2 cost. 8 mana effect. Creates a 15-foot radius cloud of toxic green gas at target location within 60 feet damage. 3d6 acid/poison damage to anyone inside at the start of their turn. Debuff. Targets must pass a fortitude save, DC 14 plus INT mod, or be nauseated, unable to attack/cast for 1 round. Duration 1 minute concentration. It's a nasty spell, great for crowd control or flushing enemies out of cover. Day for conclusion. You lean back in your chair. You are stronger, richer, and more dangerous than you were this morning. Stats: pushing the limits of human perfection. Gear: magic sword, magic ring, magic charm. Wallet: over $40K. Magic. Force, defense, necromancy, poison. You close your eyes. Sleep mode, active, Wednesday morning. Day 5. You wake up feeling sharp. The city outside is gray and drizzling rain, but your apartment is warm. Daily quest reset. Running, 0/10 km push-ups, 0/100 sit-ups, 0 out of 100. Squats, 0 out of 100. You check your phone. You have 3 notifications. Bank alert, your funds have cleared. You have $41,400 credits available. Hunter Association. Mr. Bishop, you are eligible for the rank-up exam. Current rank, E. Eligible for D. Report to the testing center anytime this week. Real estate app. Luxury loft available in Sector 3, Hunter District. Soundproofed. Reinforced walls. 10 minutes from the subway. Rent, $3,000 per month. You decide to push the envelope. The system set a bar, and you intend to vault over it. You step out into the gray, drizzling morning. You don't stop at 10 kilometers. You keep running until your lungs burn and the city limits blur. You loop back, drenching your hoodie in sweat and rain. 20 kilometers run. Complete. Back in the apartment. You hit the floor. Push-ups, 100, 150, 200. The floorboards creak under the pressure. Sit-ups, 200. Your core feels like iron. Squats, 200. Your legs are trembling, but you power through. You collapse on the floor, chest heaving. You wait for the familiar, quest complete chime. Instead, you hear a loud, resonant gong. Hidden quest completed. The limit breaker condition. Exceed the daily quest requirements by 200%. Rewards. Status recovery. Fully restored. Attribute points. +3 standard. Bonus points. +2 hidden reward. New title. Masochist. Slightly increases stamina regeneration by 10%. It worked. You have unlocked a secret milestone. You have 5 attribute points to distribute. Current stats base. STR 17-19 with ring. Limit break pending DX 17. Limit break pending con 17. Limit break pending T 18-20 with ring WAS 13 CHA 11. Analysis. You're sitting at 17 in all 3 physical stats. Putting 1 point into street DX or con will bump them to 18 +4 modifier. Putting 3 points, getting 20, unlocks a major tier superhuman. You confirm the distribution. The energy hits you like a freight train. Stats updated. STR 17 right arrow 18 +2 ring equals 20/+5 mod. Tier Superhuman DX 17 right arrow 18 +4 modifier. Tier Master Acrobat Con 17 right arrow 18 +4 modifier. Tier Iron Skin WIS 13 right arrow 15 +2 shard equals 17/+3 modifier. Tier Sixth Sense. System analysis. You have reached the physical peak threshold. In standard RPG terms, 18 is the maximum a human can achieve without magic. You are now sitting at 18 in every physical category. With your gear, you are effectively a monster in human skin. HP updated. 38 right arrow 42 to AC updated. 18 right arrow 19. Base 10 +4 DX +4 Aegis +1 item. The morning routine. You peel your sweaty clothes off and step into the shower. The hot water feels good, but you notice something else. The water droplets seem to move slower. You can hear the hum of the electricity in the light bulb above you. That's the WIS 17 kicking in. Your senses are tuning into a higher frequency. You dress in fresh clothes. You check your reflection. You don't look bulky, but you look dense, like a coiled spring. You have $41,400 credits and a free day. The Hunter Association HQ. You take a cab to the Sector 1 hub. The Association building is a massive glass monolith. The lobby is packed with nervous E-rankers hoping to get their license and D-rankers looking for work. You walk to the front desk. Reevaluation. You say, sliding your old ID across the marble counter. The receptionist scans it. Current rank. E. Reason for reevaluation? I've been working out. You say flatly. She sighs, types something and points to side door. Room 3B. Wait for your number. The exam. There are 10 other candidates in the room. Most are sweating, pacing back and forth. You sit in a plastic chair, playing a game on your phone. Bishop James. You step into the testing chamber. A bored-looking instructor with clipboard is standing next to a mana-measuring crystal and a heavy punching bag wide with sensors. Phase 1. Mana capacity. Place your hand on the crystal. The instructor drones. You touch the sphere. You don't force your mana out. You just let it flow naturally. The crystal flares with a blinding blue light, vibrating on the pedestal. The instructor adjusts his glasses. Mana index, 240. That's high D, bordering C good. Now physical. Phase 2. Striking force. Hit the bag as hard as you can. No weapons. Magic augmentation is allowed. You step up to the heavy bag. You decide to test your limits. You activate Arcane Strike, channeling it into your fist, and engage your STR 20 muscles. You throw a straight right cross. Boom. The impact sounds like a gunshot. The heavy bag doesn't just swing. It snaps off its chain. It flies across the room and slams into the back wall, bursting open and spilling sand everywhere. The sensor reads error. The instructor drops his clipboard. Phase 3. Combat simulation. Combat sim. A holographic orc warrior materializes in the center of the room. Begin. You don't even draw your sword. You dash forward. moving faster than the instructor can track, and deliver a sweeping kick to the hologram's legs, followed by a palm strike to its chest using force. The hologram flickers and de-reses. Time, 1.2 seconds. The result, 10 minutes later, you walk out of the building with a new ID card. Rank up, new rank. Deprivileges. Dungeon access, up to C rank. Weapon permit. Class 2, carry in public zones. Market access. Restricted auctions unlocked. The instructor actually recommended you for C rank immediate testing, but that requires a scheduled review board next week. For now, D rank is enough to get you better work without drowning in paperwork. The job hunt. You pull up the Hunter app on your phone. Now that your profile is verified D rank, a new list of contracts unlocks. You filter by available now and high pay. 3 listings catch your eye. Option A, the escort mission save money. Employer, Biotech Research Group. Mission, escort a team of botanists into a C-rank jungle dungeon to harvest rare moss. Pay, $15,000 flat plus overtime. Risk, low/medium. They need bodyguards, not killers. Easy money but boring. Option B, the extermination request XP grind. Employer, city governance. Mission, clear a D-rank insect hive that is overflowing. Kill count required, 100 plus. Pay, $50 per kill plus $5,000 completion bonus. Potential, $10,000 plus. Benefit, massive XP potential for farming weak mobs with your poison cloud and AoE attacks. Option C, the private entry high risk reward. Employer, anonymous verified broker. Mission, retrieve a family heirloom lost in a C-rank catacomb. The previous team did not return. Pay, $30,000 upon retrieval. Note, high danger, likely traps or a hidden boss. Finders Keepers applies to all other loot. Status, HP, 4242 mana, 2424 wallet, $41,400. Which job do you take? You accept the contract. It's marked urgent, so the rendezvous is immediate. The mission, Operation Green Thumb. You arrive at the Sector 4 gate hub. Your team is waiting by a heavy-duty transport truck. The clients, Dr. Eris, lead botanist. Nervous, adjusting thick glasses. Techs, 2 grad students hauling massive containment units. Other guards, none. They blew their budget on you, high-spec D rank. Mr. Bishop? Dr. Eris looks at your gear, the matte black sword, the gray cloak, the lack of heavy plate armor. She looks skeptical. We were hoping for a tank to hold the line. I don't need to hold the line if the enemy is dead before they reach you. You say calmly, let's move. You swipe your new D rank ID. The gate flares green. Dungeon. The Jade Canopy, C rank. You step into a wall of heat. The air is thick enough to chew, smelling of rotting vegetation and sweet pollen. The trees are massive, their roots twisting like skyscrapers. Environmental effect, dense humidity. Stamina drains 10% faster. Negated by your Con 18 and iron skin. You take point. The scientists stumble behind you, struggling with the mud. For the first hour, it's quiet. Too quiet. Your WIS-17, passive perception, is screaming. The jungle isn't empty. It's hiding. You spot movement in the canopy, shifting shadows that match the leaves perfectly. Stop. You whisper, raising a fist. The scientists freeze. What? Is a sample? One student asks loudly. Quiet. You hiss. You track the movement. Verdant stalkers, level 4 insect/plant hybrids. They are invisible to the naked eye, but you can hear the clicking of their mandibles. There are 4 of them, circling your group. Combat start. You don't wait to be ambushed. You act. Stay down, you command. You draw the storm-edged sword. The lightning fragment in the hilt buzzes, eager to discharge. Move. You launch yourself at a nearby tree trunk, running vertically up the bark for 3 steps before backflipping into the foliage. Attack. You slash at empty air, or what looks like empty air. Attack roll, 1d20 plus 9 total bonus, equals 24 hit. Damage, 1d6 plus 5 base, plus 1 magic, plus 1d6 lightning, equals 18 damage. Scree, your blade connects with a shimmering distortion. Green blood sprays as a massive, mantis-like creature decloaks, its camouflage disrupted by the lightning shock. It falls from the branch, crashing to the ground in front of the screaming scientists. Initiative, James, 22 stalkers, 14. 3 more stalkers drop from the canopy, landing around the scientists. You drop from the canopy like a lightning bolt. Sprint. The world slows down. The 3 verdant stalkers are mid-lunge, their serrated sidearms inches from the screaming grad students. You hit the ground running. You don't just dash. You flow between them, your blade moving faster than their compound eyes can track. Target 1. You slide past the stalker on the left, slashing its hamstring. Damage, 19 blade plus lightning. Effect, the lightning arcs through its nervous system. It spasms and collapses, twitching. Target 2. You pivot, using your momentum to drive your elbow into the second stalker's carapace, followed by a point-blank slash across its face. Damage, 21 critical. Effect, its head explodes in a spray of green ichor. Instant kill. Target 3. You end your movement directly in front of the third stalker, placing yourself between it and Dr. Eris. You thrust your sword upward into its thorax. Damage, 16. Effect, it screeches impaled. You channel force of the blade and kick it off your sword, sending it flying back into the jungle foliage. Combat end. The silence returns instantly, broken only by the heavy breathing of the scientists and the hiss-pop of ozone fading from your blade. Dr. Eris is clutching his chest, staring at the twitching corpse of the mantis you just electrocuted. I didn't even see you move. That's the point, you say, wiping green goo off your shoulder. You quickly dispatch the surviving but stunned stalkers. Enemies defeated, XP gained. 1,200 group kill. Loot, mantis size, crafting material, insect core D rank X3. The Emerald Grove. You press on. The jungle gets denser, the air glowing with phosphorescent spores. After another hour of hacking through vines, you reach the objective, the Emerald Grove. It is a massive, hollowed-out clearing. In the center lies a stagnant, glowing green pond. Growing on the rocks in the center of the pond is the stardust moss. It pulses with a faint magical light. That's it, Dr. Eris whispers, pulling out his sampling kit. That's the moss. It's worth millions in pharmaceutical research. The problem, the moss isn't just growing on rocks. It's growing on the back of a giant snapping turtle level 5 elite beast that is currently sleeping in the shallow water. Its shell looks exactly like a rocky island. Dr. Eris turns to you, pale. If we wake it up, it will thrash. The moss is delicate. If it submerges or gets damaged during a fight, the sample is ruined. We don't get paid the bonus. Status. HP. 4242 mana. 22/24. Use some to blitz. Mission goal. Harvest the moss intact. What is your plan? Give me the kit, you whisper. Dr. Eris hands you the magnetic containment cylinder, his hand shaking. Be careful. The roots go deep into the shell. If you pull too hard, it feels pain. You nod. You turn toward the pond. The approach, you don't wade in. That would make ripples. You look at the protruding rocks and the lily pads. With DX18, gravity is just a suggestion. You activate the Plague Rat Cape passive stealth. Your presence seems to fade from the world. You leap. It's not a jump, it's a glide. You land on a large stone, then push off instantly to the next, making less noise than a falling leaf. You land on the back of the giant snapping turtle. The shell is slimy and warm. The massive beast lets out a low, rumbling snore that vibrates through your boots. You freeze. It shifts, water lapping against its jaw. It settles. The surgery, you crouch down. You open the kit. You need to sever the moss without waking the host. Dexterity check, sleight of hand. Difficulty, DC 20, delicate operation. Roll 17 plus 4 DX plus 1 focus. equals 22. Success. You work with the precision of a machine. Your hand is rock steady. You slide the monofilament cutter under the moss patch. Snip! You lift the glowing sample and slide it into the cylinder, sealing it with a soft click. The turtle grunts. One massive, yellow eye opens. It looks at the water, then closes again. You backflip off the shell, clearing 10 feet of water and landing silently in the mud next to scientists. Got it, you say, handing the cylinder to Dr. Aris. He looks at you like you just walked on water, which you effectively did. Incredible. Mission complete. The extraction is uneventful. You escort the team back to the gate without further incident. Back at the Sector 4 hub, the payment is processed immediately. Contract fulfilled. Base pay, $15,000. Performance bonus, perfect sample $5,000. Total, $20,000. Financial update, previous, $41. 400. New total, $61,400 credits. You are officially sitting on a small fortune. Wednesday evening, you return to your apartment. It feels smaller now. The floorboards creak under your power. The shower head is too low. You have outgrown this life. You check your phone. The real estate agent for the luxury loft in Sector 3 has messaged you again. Mr. Bishop, the owner is willing to waive a security deposit for a licensed D-rank hunter. Move-in ready tonight. Status: HP, 4242 mana, 2424 wallet, $61 for 100 rank. D. You have a massive surplus of cash and resources. You need to consolidate your power. The upgrade: you spend 1 hour packing. It doesn't take long. You throw your clothes, your laptop, and your gear into a duffel bag. You leave the cheap furniture behind. You don't need it anymore. You take a cab to Sector 3, the Hunter District. The streets here are wider, cleaner, and patrolled by private security. The loft, the building, is a sleek steel and glass tower. Your biometric ID unlocks the penthouse elevator. The apartment is massive. Living area: open concept, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the neon skyline of the city. Bedroom: king-size bed, soundproofed. The lab: a reinforced concrete room with mana-dampening walls, designed for combat training and magical experiments. Transaction complete, rent paid, $3,000. Wallet: $58,400. You throw your bag on the leather couch. You are finally home. The laboratory: Project Death Knight. You head straight into the reinforced training room. You sit cross-legged in the center of the floor, the grimoire open in front of you. The goal: the current mana puppet spell is flawed. It requires active concentration or micromanagement. Lasts only a few hours, and the body decays. You want a permanent thrall. A soldier that doesn't eat, sleep, or expire. The research you have INT-20 superhuman. Your mind works like a supercomputer. You deconstruct the spell formula. Problem 1. Decay the mana burns out the organic tissue. Solution: don't use raw mana to move the muscles. Use mana to reinforce the bone structure. Create a skeletal frame that runs on a low-energy loop. Problem 2. Control you can't command it 24/7. Solution: you need an operating system. You need to bind a command core into the skull. You start writing a new formula on the concrete floor using chalk. The math is agonizingly complex, merging necromancy with golemancy. Intelligence check, spellcraft. DC 25, expert/master tier roll. 18 plus 5, INT, equals 23. Result: close, but missing a key component. You stare at the formula. It works on paper, but it lacks a power source. You can't sustain a permanent minion with just your own regenerating mana. It would drain you dry during sleep. You need an external battery. You realize a missing variable: a monster core. If you implant a monster core into the corpse, the spell can feed off the core's residual energy to sustain the physical form, while your mana provides the commands. Spell drafted name: Create Arcane Sentinel, rank C, type Ritual/permanent summon. Requirements: a corpse, must be relatively intact, bone or exoskeleton preferred. That a core must match the rank of the corpse, e.g., C-rank core for C-rank body. Investment permanently reserves 5 max mana per sentinel. You get the mana back if the sentinel is destroyed. Effect raises a permanent, intelligent undead soldier. It obeys mental commands, can use weapons, and regenerates HP over time. You have the theory. Now you need the materials. Inventory check. Corpses, none. You didn't bring the turtle or mantis. Cores. You have 3 X insect cores, D-rank. You can create a D-rank sentinel right now if you had a body. Or you can wait to kill something bigger, C-rank, to make a stronger minion. Thursday morning. Day 6. You wake up in the new loft. The silence is golden. Daily quest reset. 10 kilometers run /100 push-ups /100 sit-ups /100 squats. Status. HP. 4242 mana. 2424 wallet. $58,400. You have a plan. You want a permanent thrall. To do that, you need a high-quality body and a matching core. You lace up your running shoes. Yesterday you broke the limit. Today, you intend to shatter it. You step out of your luxury tower in Sector 3. The air is crisp. You start running. The grind, 300%. 10 kilometers. You pass the usual mark. You aren't even breathing hard 0.20 km. Your legs start to burn. The iron skin passive keeps your joints from grinding, but the fatigue poison is building up 0.30 km. You are running on pure will. You circle the entire perimeter of the Hunter District. Pedestrians blur past. You are moving at the speed of a car on the highway. You crash back into your apartment training room. Push-ups, 300. You do them on your fingertips. Sit-ups, 300. Your abs feel like they are tearing and knitting back together in real time. Squats, 300. You hold a heavy iron plate from the gym equipment. To make it count, you collapse onto the reinforced concrete floor, sweat pooling around you like a lake. Daily quest completed. Hidden objective, Spartan regimen, 300% completion. Condition met, extreme physical stress. Rewards, status recovery, fully restored. Attribute points, +3 standard. Bonus points, +3 elite reward. New passive, pain tolerance. Ignore the first 5% of damage from physical impacts. The golden light heals you instantly. The agony vanishes, replaced by explosive power. You have 6 attribute points to distribute. Current stats base. STR, 18-20 with ring DX, 18 CON, 18 INT, 20 WIS, 15 CHA, 11. Analysis. You are at the soft cap of 18 for physical stats. Pushing them to 20 base enters the mythic tier. STR 20. You can punch through tank armor. DX 20. You can dodge bullets consistently. Con 20. You regenerate HP in combat. Where do the 6 points go? The physical god, +2 STR, +2 DX, +2 CON. All base stats hit 20. You become a perfect physical specimen. The Archmage, dump into INT/WS to supercharge your spells for Thrall Ritual. Specialized build. Max out one stat to 24 godlike, and ignore the others. Choose your distribution. The Thrall Project. Phase 2. While you decide on your stats, you turn your attention back to the project. Death Knight. You have the spell logic. You have the mana. You have the workspace. Missing components. The body needs to be C rank or higher for durability. Skeleton, carapace, or construct frame. The core needs to be C rank to power the engine. Current inventory. You have $58,400 credits. You have NO C rank cores. You sold the Lich and Guardian cores. You have NO C rank bodies. How do you want to secure the materials? Option A. The black market, fast and expensive. Go to the butcher shop in the underground. Buy a preserved C-rank monster corpse, approximate $10,000, and a C-rank core, approximate $10,000. Cost $20,000.pros. Guaranteed quality. You can pick the exact monster type, e.g., a Minotaur skeleton or a steel golem frame. Cons: expensive. Option B: the hunt slow and profitable. Accept a C-rank extermination contract. Find a suitable elite monster, like a skeletal captain or a heavy beast. Kill it carefully to keep the bones intact. Cost: $0. You actually get paid to do it. Pros: you get XP, loot, and cash. Cons: risk of damaging the body during the fight. Option C: the grave robber, risky. There are rumors of a dungeon break that was suppressed by the military in Sector 9 last night. They bulldoze the corpses into a mass grave/containment zone. Sneak in and steal a body? Pros: free high-tier bodies. Cons: illegal. High chance of fighting military police. What is your choice for stats and the thrall material? Let's hit the physical god option. Then we will take a job. We have time to get the cores we want, and we are going to need a way to move my thralls around without anyone see them until they are needed. The physical god. You commit the points. The sensation isn't just getting stronger this time. It feels like your DNA is being rewritten, burning away the last limitations of your human frame. Stats updated. STR, 18 right arrow 20, plus 2 ring equals 22/+6 modifier. Tier, Titan Strength DX, 18 right arrow 20, plus 5 modifier. Tier, Supersonic Con, 18 right arrow 20, plus 5 modifier. Tier, Regenerator, passive effect unlocked. Bioengine, you now regenerate 1 HP every minute outside of combat. Fatigue toxins are scrubbed instantly. You can run at full sprint indefinitely. You stand up. The concrete floor cracks slightly under your heel without you trying. You aren't just a hunter anymore. You are a biological weapon. Logistics, the transport problem. Before you hunt, you need a way to move a 7-foot undead soldier around the city without SWAT getting called. You have $58,400. You pull up the hunter market listings. 2 options stand out for discreet transport. Option A, the cleaner van physical solution. Item, armored Ford Transit blacked out. Mods, reinforced suspension for heavy cargo. Lead line rear compartment blocks mana signatures. False plates. Cost, $15,000.pros. Reliable, blends into traffic, can carry multiple thralls/loot. Cons, it's a vehicle. You have to park it. Option B, spatial storage magical solution. Item, bag of holding type 3 cargo. Capacity, 500 pounds/40 cubic feet. Enough for 1 large humanoid or 2 small ones. Cost, $35,000.pros. You can carry your thrall in your pocket. Ultimate stealth. Cons, expensive. Only holds 1 big minion. Living things suffocate, undead don't breathe, so it works for thralls. Decision, you check your wallet. You have the cash. The spatial bag is the ultimate convenience for a solo necromancer. You buy it. Transaction complete. Item, bag of holding type 3. Cost, $35,000. Wallet, $23,400. You clip the unassuming leather pouch to your belt. Now you can capture a monster, stuff in the bag, and deploy it anywhere. The hunt, choosing the body. You open the job board. You need a C-rank elite to serve as the chassis for your Death Knight. You filter for C-rank dungeons with suitable enemy types. 3 contracts look promising. 1. The Rusted Garrison C-rank. Target, skeletal warlords. Body type, humanoid, heavy armor, blade masters. Why? They already have martial skills etched into their bones. Perfect for a sword-wielding bodyguard. Loot, dark iron armor plus swords. 2. The Obsidian Quarry C-rank. Target, obsidian golems. Body type, construct, massive, indestructible. Why? A tank. Slow, but almost impossible to kill. If you bind a core to this, you get a walking fortress. Loot, high-value ores. 3. The Feral Wood C-rank. Target, dire sabertooth. Body type, beast, fast mountable. Why? You can ride it. A necrotic mount that runs at 60 miles per hour and eats faces. Loot, beast pelts, high value. We will need a void pocket spell at some point, something large enough for an army to stay in. These are goals to reach for, but not fully needed right now. I want to live and look average. I don't need to show off to others. Let's go for the rusted garrison. We'll see what we come out with. You nod. The gray man strategy. You are a D rank on paper, a civilian in the street, and a god in the dungeon. No flashy cars, no entourage. Just results. You stash the bag of holding in your pocket. It looks like a generic hiking pouch. You accept the contract for the rusted garrison. Mission, the rusted garrison, C rank. You arrive at the gate in Sector 7. It's located in the ruins of an old subway station. The air smells of rust and dry earth. You swipe your D rank ID. The guard barely looks up. Solo entry? Sign the waiver. You sign. You step through. The dungeon. The world shifts to a twilight battlefield. The sky is a bruised purple. The ground is littered with broken swords, rusted shields, and the bones of 1,000 forgotten wars. The wind whistles through the rib cages of dead leviathans. Target: skeletal warlord. Objective: secure an intact chassis and a C-rank core. You move through the ruins. With DX20 and the Plague Rat Cape, you are a ghost. You bypass the lower-level skeleton infantry. You don't waste time on trash mobs that crumble if you look at them too hard. You head for the keep, a jagged stone fortress on a hill. The duel. In the courtyard of the keep, you find him. Elite detected. Skeletal warlord level 6. He stands 7 feet tall, wearing rusted but functional black iron plate armor. A tattered red cape hangs from his shoulders. He wields a massive greatsword that glows with faint green necromantic energy. This is it. The perfect vessel. The strategy. You can't use your STR-20 to just smash him. If you hit him full force, you'll turn his bones to powder. You need to be a surgeon. You need to sever the magical binding in his neck without damaging the structural integrity of the skeleton. Combat start. The warlord spots you. His eye sockets flare with green fire. He roars, a soundless psychic scream, and charges. He covers the 30 feet in a second, swinging the greatsword in a lethal horizontal arc. Action. You don't block. You don't dodge away. You step in. Your DX20 makes the warlord look like he's moving underwater. You duck under the massive blade, the wind of the swing ruffling your hair. You are now inside his guard, chest to chest with the undead giant. You holster your sword. You don't need it. You use your hand. Precision strike. You firmly grip the warlord's cervical spine, the neck, with your left hand to hold him steady. With your right hand, you form a knife hand shape and channel a concentrated needle of force. Attack roll. 1d20 plus 11 base equals natural 20. Damage controlled. You jam your hand between the helmet and the breastplate, striking the glowing green vertebrae where the soul anchor is located. You don't crush the bone. You sever the mana connection. Snap. The green fire in the warlord's eyes flickers and dies instantly. The massive armor body goes limp, collapsing into your arms like a puppet with cut strings. Elite defeated. XP gained. 1,800. Loot. Warlord's core. C-rank a pulsing green gem. Black iron greatsword. Heavy, high damage. Rusted plate armor. Needs cleaning but solid. The harvest. You carefully lower the body to the ground. It is pristine. The bones are thick, reinforced with dark magic. The armor is heavy. You open your bag of holding. You shove the 7-foot armor corpse inside. It's a tight fit, but the bag expands dimensionally. You toss the greatsword in after it. Package secured. The lab, the ritual. You return to your loft in Sector 3. You lock the door and head to the reinforced concrete lab. You dump the contents of the bag onto the floor. The skeletal warlord clatters onto the concrete, a lifeless pile of bone and iron. Preparation. You draw the ritual circle in chalk, reinforcing with your own blood just a drop, to bind the creation to your lineage. You place the C-rank warlord's core in the center of the chest cavity. The spell, Create Arcane Sentinel. You begin the chant. It is a complex weaving of mana, pulling from your INT-20 mind. You aren't just animating it. You are programming it. Directive 1, protect James Bishop. Directive 2, obey all mental commands instantly. Directive 3, maintain discretion, stand down/hide when ordered. You push your mana into the core. Mana reserved, 5 points, permanent. Max mana, 24 right arrow 19, effective cap. The green gem in the chest flares to life, but as it filters through your spell, the color shifts. It turns a deep, cold blue, the color of your mana. The warlord's bones knit together. The armor shifts, the rust flaking off to reveal clean, dark metal. The helmet turns to face you. Blue fire ignites in the eye sockets. It kneels. Thrall created. Name, Sentinel Alpha. You can rename him. Rank, C Elite. Type, Undead/Construct Hybrid. Stats, STR, 18 tier, Peak Human DX. 14 CON. Unlimited stamina, undead.HP, 150/150 autoregen. Equipment, Black Iron Plate, AC-20. Greatsword. It is a silent, imposing tank. It is weaker than you, but it is stronger than almost anything else in the D rank or C rank bracket. Thursday evening. You have your bodyguard. You have your apartment. You have your stats. Status. HP. 4242 mana. 1919 24 max. Wallet. $23 for 100 at minion. Sentinel Alpha. Stored in bag of holding or standing guard. You pack your gear. The bag of holding hangs discreetly at your waist, carrying a 300-pound armored undead killing machine. You open your phone and select the D-Rank extermination request. The buzzing tunnels. Location, Sector 8 Industrial Zone sewers. Target, giant acid ants. Objective, cull the population 100+. Phase 1, baseline inspection. You arrive at the entrance, a massive storm drain covered in yellow danger tape. The city guard checks your D-Rank ID and waves you through. Once you're deep inside the damp, concrete tunnels, you stop. The air smells of ozone and vinegar. You open the bag. Alpha, deploy. The skeleton warlord pulls itself out of the spatial pocket, its armor clanking softly. It stands to its full height, blue fire igniting in its eyes. It waits. You activate Analyze, Inspect. Thrall status, Sentinel Alpha. Rank, C Elite level 6 fixed, HP, 150/150 attack. 28 Greatsword plus STR, Defense. 20 Black Iron Plate, Experience. 0/1000, Soul Essence, Directives. Protect/obey/conceal. Note, it seems to have an experience bar, but it is labeled Soul Essence. This suggests it doesn't level up like a player, but the core absorbs power that can be used for upgrades. Go, you command. Kill everything that isn't me. Phase 2, the stress test. Alpha turns and marches down the tunnel. A swarm of giant acid ants, level 2, skitters across the ceiling and walls. There are 20 of them. Alpha doesn't hesitate. He doesn't have fear. He steps into the swarm. Combat performance. Reaction speed. Slower than you, DX14, but efficient. He blocks acid spits with his armored gauntlets. Damage output devastating. He swings the great sword in a wide arc. The heavy blade cleaves through 3 ants at once, shattering their carapaces like glass. Durability. An ant bites his leg. Mandibles grind against the black iron greaves. Sparks fly. No damage. Alpha ignores it and stomps the ant's head flat. You walk behind him, hands in your pockets. You are observing the AI. Observation. It prioritizes threats intelligently. It kills the one spitting acid first, then cleans up the melee attackers. Observation. It uses the environment. It kicks a dead ant corpse into the swarm to knock them over. The boss, the brood guard deep in the nest, a brood guard level 4 elite, charges. It's a tank-sized beetle with a massive horn. Alpha meets the charge. Clash. The beetle slams into Alpha. The warlord slides back 2 feet, boots digging into the concrete, but holds a line. Counter. Alpha releases one hand from the sword, grabs the beetle's horn and twists. With STR-18, he forces the beetle's head down, exposing the neck. Execution. A downward thrust. Clean kill. Phase 3. Post-mission analysis. After 45 minutes, the tunnels are silent. Alpha is covered in green ichor, but his armor is intact. You cast Inspect again. Thrall status. Sentinel Alpha. Rank. C Elite level 6 HP. 142 out of 150 regenerating experience. 350/1000 soul essence. Conclusion. Does he level? Not automatically. He collects soul essence. How it works. The core works like a battery. When it fills 1000, it won't magically ding level 7. Instead, you'll have to perform a ritual to spend the essence to upgrade a specific stat, evolve his gear, or unlock a skill. Efficiency. He is a meat grinder for anything below C rank. He takes 0 maintenance. The reward. You recall Alpha into the bag of holding. You collect the loot, ant mandibles, and poison glands, and exit the dungeon. Mission complete pay. $5,000 base, plus $2,500 kill bounty. Wallet. $23,400 plus $7,500 equals $30,900 credits. You return to your loft. It is late afternoon. You have confirmed that your army can grow stronger, but it requires combat to charge their cores. You retreat to your reinforced lab, locking the blast door. You place the bag of holding on the table and pull out your laptop, along with the grimoire you bought earlier. You aren't looking for a simple spell. You are looking for a way to rewrite the laws of physics. The research, spatial geometry. You activate your work mode. Your INT-22 superhuman. Mind dissects a problem. The problem, physical bags, like the one you bought, rely on runic weaving into leather. They are stable but finite. The goal, a void pocket anchored to your own mana signature. A dimensional warehouse that moves with you. The theory, you analyze the spatial frequency of the mana bolt force and the shadow jump stealth mechanics. If you can fold your own shadow into a fourth-dimensional tesseract, you can store matter inside it. Intelligence check, Arcana/Physics. Difficulty, very high, rank B theory. Roll, 19 plus 6, INT, equals 25, critical success. You see the pattern. It's not about creating a hole in the world. It's about creating a pleat in your own aura. You realize you can't store living things because their own bioelectric fields disrupt the fold. But undead are cold. They are objects. They fit perfectly. You spend 4 hours covering the concrete floor in chalk diagrams, calculating the mana mass ratio. Stabilize. You whisper, channeling your mana into your own shadow. The shadow stretches, detaches on the floor, and opens like a dark pool of oil. New spell created name, Void Cache, rank B. Type, utility/dimensional. Effect, opens a portal to a personal subdimension anchored to your shadow. Capacity, equal to your INT modifier, 6, x 200 pounds or 1 unit humanoid size per point. Current capacity, 6 slots. Constraint, cannot store living beings, oxygen/mana suffocation. Ideal for undead thralls or gear. Cost, 5 mana to open/close. The test. You look at Sentinel Alpha, who is standing silently in the corner of the lab. Alpha, enter the void. You cast a spell. The pool of darkness widens at your feet. Alpha steps forward. He sinks into your shadow, disappearing without a sound. The shadow ripples and returns to normal. You check your mental inventory. You can feel him there, suspended in the gray dark, waiting. Emerge. You snap your fingers. Your shadow spikes upward, spitting Alpha back out. He lands in a combat stance, ready to kill. It works. You have your army transport. Current load, 1/6 slots. Potential. You can carry 5 more death knights in your pocket. Friday morning, day 7. You wake up in your king-size bed. The city of Berlin, Wisconsin, or rather, the sector-based metropolis built over it, is waking up. Daily quest reset. 10 kilometers run/100 push-ups /100 sit-ups /100 squats. Status. HP, 42 of 42. Mana, 24/24 full, Wallet, $30, 900 thralls. Sentinel Alpha, level 6. Storage, void cache, 16 used. You check the Hunter Association app. It's Friday. That means the weekly underground auction is happening tonight in Sector 9. It's the only place to buy C rank or B rank monster corpses without asking questions. But first, you have the day ahead of you. You finish your morning routine. With STR 20 and Con 20, the 10 kilometers run feels like a light jog. The push-ups are effortless. You have to do them on your thumbs just to feel resistance. Daily quest completed. Rewards. +3 attribute points, bang for later. Current status. Perfect condition. You take a shower, dress in your civilian clothes, and head out. The armor, the Iron Seamstress. You skip the generic Hunter Mart. You head to a boutique shop in Sector 3 known as the Iron Seamstress. It caters to high DX hunters who need protection without looking like they walked out of medieval fair. The owner, a woman with cybernetic ocular implants, looks you up and down. You move quietly, muscles dense. You want mobility, not plate. She takes your measurements, would have changed significantly since yesterday, and brings out 3 options within your $30,000 budget. Option A, the Nightwalker Suit Stealth Focus. Material, woven from Shadow Spider Silk Sirank and Matte Black Kevlar. Stats, AC 14 plus DX modifier, max +8. Passives, Shadow Step, grants advantage on stealth checks in dim light. Silent, no noise penalty for movement. Cost, $22,000. A sleek, skin-tight tactical bodysuit. Very superhero/assassin. Option B, the Viper Composite Combat Focus. Material, Acid Ant Chitin Plates. Treated to remove the smell over ballistic mesh. Stats, AC 16 plus DX modifier, max +5. Passives, Acid Guard, plus 20% resistance to acid/poison damage. Deflection, chitin plates can bounce small caliber bullets. Cost, $18,000. Look, angular armor plates on chest, shoulders, and shins. Looks militaristic and aggressive. Option C, the Executive Weave, the Gray Man Special. Material, carbon wyvern leather lining hidden under a high-end bespoke business suit. Stats, AC 13 plus DX modifier, no cap. Passives, civilian camouflage. You look like a businessman, not a hunter. Enemies underestimate you, lowers aggro. Comfort, can be worn 24/7 without fatigue. Cost, $28,000. It's expensive to make armor look like Armani. Look, a sharp, charcoal gray 3-piece suit. The armor is entirely concealed. Good choice, the seamstress says, running a hand over the charcoal fabric. Carbon wyvern weave, stops a knife, dampens impact, and breathes like cotton. You could wear this to a board meeting or a bloodbath. She fits you for the suit. It's tailored to perfection, accommodating your broader shoulders and dense muscle mass without looking tight. When you move, the suit moves with you, zero resistance. You place the ant mandibles and poison glands on the counter. Take these for trade? She inspects the serrated edges. Clean cuts. D rank, but good condition. I'll knock the price down. Transaction summary. Cost of suit, $28,000. Trade-in value. Loot $3. $500 total paid. $24,500. Item equipped. The Executive Weave. Armor class AC 18, 13 base +5 DX. With Arcane Aegis, 22 AC, effect social camouflage. NPCs perceive you as a high-status civilian, not a threat. Wallet update, $30,900 start. $24,500 suit equals $6,400 credits. The look, you step out onto the street. You catch your reflection in a shop window. You don't look like a dungeon crawler anymore. You look like a corporate cleaner. The suit is sharp, dark gray, and immaculate. The bag you're holding at your belt looks like a designer fanny pack or tech pouch. The storm-edged sword is hidden in your inventory or under the coat if you use a concealment charm, but you don't even need to show it. You have the style. You have the defense. But you are broke again. $6,400 is not enough to buy anything significant at the underground auction tonight. If you want to expand your army with high-quality C-rank corpses, you need capital. Current time, Friday 1 p.m. Auction starts 8 p.m. You have 7 hours. The wisdom of the sage. You assign the +3 attribute points to wisdom. As the points settle into your soul, the world shifts again. It's not just sharper vision anymore. It's predictive. You can feel the air current shift before the wind blows. You can sense the emotional intent of the people walking past you on the street. You are connected to the flow of the world. Stats updated. WIS, 15 right arrow 18, +2 shard equals 20/+5 modifier. Tier, cosmic awareness. Analysis. You now possess 20 base or total in STR, DX, Con, INT, and WIS. You are statistically perfect. You are a Pentagon build, no weaknesses. The job, the Crystal Hollows C-rank. You decide to skip the frantic rush for the auction. You'd rather walk in next week with a suitcase full of cash than scrape by tonight. You check the Hunter app for high loot value dungeons. Target, the Crystal Hollows. Type, mineral/construct. Enemies, crystalline spiders, geo-golems. Loot, raw mana crystals, high market value. You hail a cab to the Sector 5 mining district. The dive. You enter the gate. The cavern is beautiful, lit by millions of glowing blue and purple crystals jutting from the walls. Alpha. Deploy. Your shadow ripples, and the 7-foot black Iron Knight rises from the floor. He draws his greatsword. Break them. You order. Combat. The meat grinder. You encounter a pack of crystal spiders, level 5. Their carapaces are as hard as diamonds, usually requiring blunt force or high-tier magic to crack. Alpha doesn't care. He swings a greatsword with STR-18 force. The blade doesn't cut. It shatters. He smashes a spider into glittering dust, then pivots to backhand another one into the wall. You test your new WIS-20. You close your eyes. You can feel the spiders moving on the ceiling behind you. You don't need to look. You point your finger over your shoulder. Bolt. Crack. A spider drops dead, its core shattered by a blind shot. The looting. This dungeon is a gold mine. Every enemy drops crystal shards, $200 each. The elite Geo Golems drop refined mana gems, $1,000 each. You and Alpha work like an industrial crusher machine. He smashes, you loot. The Alpha upgrade. Deep in the cavern, you fight the boss, the Diamond Construct C-rank boss. It's a massive humanoid made of transparent, invulnerable crystal. It fires lasers of focus light. Alpha tanks the lasers. His black iron armor heats up, glowing red, but he doesn't falter. He charges in, grappling the boss, holding it in place while you deliver a force-empowered strike to its central pivot joint. Crash. The boss collapses. Boss defeated. XP gained, 2,500. Loot, Diamond Core C-rank, Prismatic Lens crafting. You check Alpha. He is standing over the wreckage, absorbing the floating white lights of the dead boss. Thrall status, Sentinel Alpha. Soul Essence, 1050/1000. Upgrade available. You have enough essence to evolve him. System prompt. Select upgrade path for Sentinel Alpha. Stat boost, +2 to STR or DX. Skill unlock. Teach him a weapon art, e.g. Whirlwind Slash or Shield Bash. Armor fusion. Fuse the diamond core you just found into his armor to give him crystal plating, plus AC and laser resistance. You can decide this later, but the option is open. Friday night, the count. You exit the dungeon. It is 9:30 p.m. The auction is in full swing, but you are dirty, rich, and tired. You head back to the loft and dump the loot on the table. It's a glittering pile of blue and purple gems. Loot breakdown. Diamond Core, C-rank $12, 000. Refined Mana Gems, X8 $8, 000. Crystal Shards, bag full $4, 500 base pay, $0. It was an open run, not a contract. Total earnings, $24,500 credits. Wallet update. $6,400 start plus $24,500 loot equals $30,900 credits. You are back to where you started financially, but you have the executive suit, a stronger alpha, and a bag full of crafted materials. Saturday morning, day 8. You wake up feeling the accumulation of power. You are a physical god walking among mortals. Daily quest reset. 10 kilometers run / 100 push-ups. You know the drill. Status. HP. 4242 mana. 2424 wallet. $30 900 at alpha. Upgrade pending. Saturday morning routine. You wake up and hit the pavement. With your stats effectively maxed out for a human, the daily quest is no longer a challenge. It's a warm-up. You blast through the 10 kilometers run and the calisthenics in record time. Daily quest completed. Rewards. Status recovery. Complete. Attribute points. +3. Banked. Total. 3. The lab. Evolution of the Sentinel. You return to the loft and drag the heavy bag of holding into the lab. You dump the C-rank diamond core onto the table. It pulses with a hard, white light. Alpha. Deploy. The black iron knight rises from your shadow. You begin the fusion ritual. You place the diamond core against Alpha's chestplate. You channel your mana, using the 1,050 soul essence stored within him as a catalyst to melt the diamond into the iron. Hiss. The black metal ripples. The diamond dissolves, spreading through the armor like veins of white ice. The rusty black finish is replaced by a polished, multifaceted dark gray surface that catches the light. For all upgrade complete. Sentinel Alpha Right Arrow Diamond Iron Sentinel. AC 20 Right Arrow 23. New passive. Prismatic refraction. Resistance to energy of laser. Fire damage. 10% chance to reflect beam attacks. Aesthetic. Looks like a suit of armor carved from obsidian and diamond. Heavier, shinier, harder. He is now a walking bunker. The double header. You check the Hunter app. You want volume. You queue up 2 C-rank instance dungeons back-to-back. Run 1. The Iron Tooth Encampment C-rank. Enemy type. Orc Raiders, physical / melee. Go! Pure combat test. You step into the dusty canyon. 50 orcs are waiting. Alpha. Front. Alpha marches forward. The orcs charge, swinging crude iron axes. Clang. An axe hits Alpha's shoulder. It doesn't even scratch the diamond iron plating. The axe head chips. Alpha swings his greatsword. Crunch. He cleaves through the orc in his shield. You casually walk behind him, using Mana Bolt to snipe the orc archers on the ridges, while Alpha hold the aggro the entire infantry line. It's efficient. It's brutal. Boss, Orc War Chief. Result. Alpha tanks the Warchief's rage while you flank, and sever the Warchief's hamstrings with your Storm-Edge sword. Loot. Orc Tusks heavy weapons. $12,000 credits. Run 2. The Sunken Temple C-rank. Enemy type. Naga / water elementals, magic / cold. Go! Resistance test. You enter a flooded ruin. The water is knee-deep. Naga mages fire ice bolts at you. Alpha steps in front of you. The ice bolts shatter against his new plating. The prismatic refraction passive triggers. A beam of cold energy bounces off his chest and freezes a Naga warrior solid. You dash across the water, DX20, closing the gap. You unleash a poison cloud into the center of the room. The Naga cough and choke, their scales melting. Alpha marches into the cloud, he doesn't breathe, and finishes him off. Boss, High Priestess Naga. Result, she tries to drown you. You use Void Cache to briefly store yourself in your own shadow to dodge the tidal wave, then pop out and decapitate her. Loot. Deep Pearls, Trident Tides, blue item. $18,000 credits. The Aftermath. Level up. You exit the second gate, dripping wet but unharmed. The sheer volume of XP from 2 full clears and 2 boss kills pushes you over the edge. System alert. Level up. Level 4, Right Arrow level 5. Milestone reached. Tier 1 complete. At level 5, your mana core stabilizes. You unlock a class specialization perk. Select one perk. Arcane Weaver. All spells cost minus 20% mana. You can cast 2 Novice spells simultaneously, e.g. Mana Bolt plus Arcane Aegis in the same action. Shadow Monarch. Junior, your thralls gain plus 20% stats. You can maintain 1 additional permanent thrall without reserving max mana. Free slot. Spellblade. When you cast a spell, your next melee attack deals plus 1d8 force damage. Combo Synergy. Status Update. You return to the loft shower and change into fresh clothes. Financial Report. Wallet Start. $30, 900. Loot sold. $30, 000. Current wallet. $60,900 credits. Attribute points. You have 3 points from the daily quest. You have 2 points from Level Up Standard. Total available, 5 points. Current stats, base/total. STR, 20/22 Titan DX. 20/20 Supersonic Con. 20/20 Regenerator INT. 20/22 Superhuman WIS. 20/22 Cosmic Awareness. Decisions. Which level 5 perk do you choose? Where you put the 5 attribute points. Note, going above 20 usually yields diminishing returns or requires a specific breaker achievement to unlock the 21 plus bracket. Evening plans. You have $60,000 in a free night. Note, with stats at 20, you are hitting the human limit. Putting points into them might not increase the raw number yet, but could bank toward a limit break, or you could start pumping CHA to become a leader. The Shadow Monarch rises. You select Shadow Monarch Jr. The moment you confirm the choice, the shadows in the room seem to lengthen and bow toward you. You feel a cold, heavy crown settle invisibly on your brow. Your connection to Sentinel Alpha shifts. It feels less like a puppet string and more like a feudal oath. Class specialization unlocked. Class, Necromancer Lord unique. Passive, authority. Undead beings of lower level naturally fear you. Perk active. +1 free thrall slot. You can create a second permanent thrall without reducing your max mana. Attribute distribution. You distribute the 5 points to break your mental limits and fix your charisma deficit. +2 INT total, 22, +1 WIS total, 21, +2 CHA total, 13. Stats updated. INT, 20 right arrow 22, +6 modifier. Tier, simulation mind effect. You can run parallel thought processes. You can calculate spell trajectories and dungeon layouts instantly. You are smarter than any computer you can buy. WIS, 20 right arrow 21, +5 modifier. Tier, precognition effect. Your gut feeling is now a tactical radar. You sense danger seconds before it happens. CHA, $11 right arrow 13, +1 modifier. Tier, presence effect. You're no longer just a guy. You have gravitas. People listen when you speak. Saturday afternoon, the expansion. You stand in your lab. You are level 5. You are a Shadow Monarch. And you have a vacancy in your Kingsguard. Status. Wallet. $60, 900 thralls. Sentinel Alpha. Occupying slot 1. Vacancies. 1 free slot requires no mana upkeep. Transport. Void cash 1/6 used. You need a second lieutenant. Alpha is your tank/brute. You need something different to round out the squad. You decide to power down for the afternoon. The grinding, the killing, the necromancy, it can wait. You need to remember what you are fighting for. You step out into Sector 3. It's a nice day. The executive suit breathes perfectly, making you look like a young venture capitalist or a high-ranking guild officer. People pour out of your way on the sidewalk. The CHA-13 and the subtle aura of the Shadow Monarch make you hard to ignore. You walk through the plaza, grabbing a coffee. You wander past the high-end gear shops and the open-air cafes. The encounter. Near a fountain in the center of the district, you spot her. It's the healer from the raid the other day. We'll call her Elena. She was the one keeping the tank alive while you were doing the heavy lifting in the background. She is sitting on a bench, looking frustrated. She's wearing casual clothes, a white sweater and jeans, but her staff of mending is leaning against a bench next to her, a sign she just came off a shift. She is counting credits on a digital pad, shaking her head. She looks up and catches your eye. She blinks, then recognition dawns. Wait. She stands up. You're the rogue, right? The one with the black sword? From the tower? She doesn't know you're a necromancer. To the world, you are just an impossibly fast, hard-hitting swordsman. You smile, a rare expression for you lately. You adjust the cuffs of your charcoal suit and walk over. That's me, you say, extending a hand. James Bishop. Good to see you made out of there in one piece. She shakes your hand. Her grip is firm, but her hand is calloused from gripping a staff. Elena. And yeah, barely. That final boss was a nightmare. She looks at your suit, then at the expensive coffee in your hand. Her eyes widen slightly. You clean up nice. I almost didn't recognize you without the monster guts and the hood. Hazard of the job, you say smoothly. Do you mind? You gesture to the empty spot on the bench. Go ahead. You sit down, crossing your legs. You take a sip of coffee, letting the silence settle comfortably. The sun filters through the plaza trees. It feels normal, human. You glance down at the data pad. She was frowning at earlier. So, you start keeping your tone casual. I couldn't help but notice the frown. The guild stiff you on the payout. Elena sighs, leaning back against the bench. She tosses a pad into her bag. Something like that. I'm a freelancer, right? So I have to pay for my own mana potions, my own gear repairs, and the association tax on every dungeon run. By the time I pay off the overhead, I'm walking away with... She makes a pinching motion. Peanuts. I need to buy a new spellbook, mass heal, but at this rate, I'll be level 10 before I can afford it. She looks at you. You seem to be doing all right, though. Solo work pays better. You lean forward slightly, resting your elbows on your knees, interlacing your fingers. You let the executive persona do the heavy lifting. Solo work pays better. You say, your voice low and steady. Much better. No guild tax. No split with 5 other people who didn't pull their weight. You keep what you kill. You pause, letting that sink in. But you're right. It's dangerous. I can handle the damage, but I can't look everywhere at once. I need a partner. Someone with situational awareness. Someone who actually knows how to time a buff. You look her in the eye. I'm putting a team together. Small, elite, extremely profitable. I need a dedicated healer. I think you'd be a good fit. Elena blinks, surprised. She looks from her empty coffee cup to your bespoke suit. You're serious? You want to hire me? I want to partner with you. You correct. 50-50 split on loot. Base salary for standby time. Her jaw drops slightly. 50-50 is unheard of in the industry. Usually, the DPS takes the lion's share. You check your watch. But this isn't a conversation for a park bench. Are you hungry? I know a place just around the corner. The Obsidian Grill. We can talk details over steaks. She hesitates for exactly 1 second, then smiles, a genuine, relieved smile. She grabs her staff. I'm starving. And if you're buying at the Obsidian, I'm definitely listening. The Obsidian Grill. The restaurant is dimly lit, smelling of aged beef and expensive red wine. It's the kind of place where high-ranking hunters and corporate fixers eat. You get a booth in the back. The waiter takes your coats. You keep your bag of holding discreetly on your belt. Over appetizers, the tension melts away. You learn a bit about her. She's studying arcane theory at the university, but hunting to pay tuition. She hates the big guilds because they treat supports like disposable batteries. By the time the main course arrives, you get down to business. So, she says, cutting into steak. You said elite team. Who else is in it? The tank from the other day? This is the moment. You have a choice. You can lie, or you can start prepping her for the truth. You slice into your steak, keeping your expression calm. Just me, you say comfortably. I don't rely on tanks. Tanks are slow. They take damage because they stand there and let things hit them. I prefer not to get hit. You point the knife slightly for emphasis. I'm a speed specialist. High dexterity, high burst damage. I go in, I kill the threat, I get out. The problem is when I do make a mistake or when there's environmental damage, poison, heat, attrition, I have no sustain. You look her in the eye. That's where you come in. I don't need you to heal me because I'm face tanking a dragon. I need you to keep my stamina up, cleanse debuffs, and watch my blind spots. You're my insurance policy. Elena listens, chewing slowly. She nods. A glass cannon build. Risky. But if you're as fast as you were in the tower, it works. She takes a sip of wine. Okay, I'm in, but I have conditions. If you die because you overextended, I'm not dragging your corpse out for free. And I get to pick the background music in the car. You smirk. Deal. The walk home. You pay the bill $300. Pocket change to you now. You walk her to the maglev station. The city lights are reflecting off the wet pavement. At the station entrance, she turns to you. The mood is lighter now. The professional tension has faded into something warmer. Thanks for dinner, James, she says. And for the opportunity. I was really worried about rent this month. Don't worry about rent, you say. We'll hit a C rank on Monday. You'll make rent in an hour. She laughs, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. You're arrogant, you know that? But I guess you can afford to be. She steps closer. For a second, you think she might hug you or more. She hesitates, then squeezes your arm. Text me the coordinates for Monday. Good night, boss. Good night, Elena. She disappears into the station. You watch her go. Relationship unlocked, Elena, healer rank 1 partner. Trust, moderate. Knowledge. She thinks you are a rich speed swordsman. She does not know about the necromancy. Sunday morning. Day 9. You wake up late. It's Sunday, the day of rest. But for a necromancer lord, there is no rest. Daily quest reset. 10 kilometers run / 100 push-ups. Routine. Status. HP. 4242 mana. 2424 wallet. $60,600 after dinner. Thralls. Sentinel Alpha, level 6. Party, Elena Healer, available Monday. You have a free day before your first duo raid. You need to figure out how to handle the Alpha issue. If you bring Elena, you can't summon your giant undead knight in front of her without blowing your cover. Sunday morning, the limit break. You wake up. The air in the room feels heavy, or maybe you just feel too light. You hit the streets for the daily quest. But today, you don't just run. You blur. You finish the 10 kilometers run in under 20 minutes. The wind resistance feels like a solid wall you are constantly shattering. Back in the lab, you perform the strength training. The weights feel like styrofoam. You have to actively slow down to stop from throwing the 200 pounds barbell through the ceiling. Daily quest completed. Rewards, plus 3 attribute points. You sit on the floor, sweat evaporating instantly off your overheated skin. You open the status window. You see the number sitting at the perfect 20. You assign the points. Plus 1 STR, plus 1 DX, plus 1 CON. The system pauses. A warning prompt flickers in red text, then shatters into gold. System alert. Limit break detected. Biological parameters exceeding human standard. Rewriting species designation. Error. Designation unknown. Applying Paragon template. A shockwave hits your nervous system. It's not pain. It's a sudden, violent expansion of your existence. Your bones densify to the strength of steel. Your neurons fire at superconductor speeds. The world slows down to a crawl. Stats updated. STR. 20 Rytero 21, plus 2 ring equals 23. Tier. Demigod DX. 20 Rytero 21. Tier. Phantom Khan. 20 Rytero 21. Tier. Immortal. You stand up. You feel heavy, grounded, like you are the center of gravity in the room. The grind. The Howling Canyon, C rank. You need to test this body. You need something fast and mean. You head to the Howling Canyon gate in Sector 2. Enemies. Wind elementals razor-wing griffins. Threat, high-speed aerial attacks. You enter the canyon. The wind here screams at 80 miles per hour, enough to strip the skin off a normal person. You feel it as a gentle breeze. Alpha, deploy. Your diamond iron sentinel rises from the shadow. He looks magnificent, a towering figure of faceted black crystal and iron. The hunt, a flock of razor-wing griffins, level 6, dives from the cliffs. They are faster than sound, creating sonic booms as they stoop. Hold them. You order. Alpha plants his feet. He raises his greatsword. A griffin slams into him. Boom! The impact would have derailed a train. Alpha slides back 3 feet, carving trenches in rock. But he doesn't fall. His prismatic refraction flares, blinding the beast. Your turn. You don't run. You vanish. With DX21, you are moving faster than the eye can track. You step onto the air, using the sheer density of the wind pressure as a platform, and intercept a second griffin mid-flight. You don't use a skill. You just punch it. STR-23 meets beak. Crack. The griffin's skull caves in. It drops like a stone. You land, draw your sword, and spin. Forslash. A blade of pure kinetic energy tears through the canyon, bisecting 2 wind elementals hiding in the dust storm. The harvest. You spend 6 hours in the canyon. It is a massacre. Alpha acts as the anvil. You are the hammer. Alpha's durability. The diamond infusion makes him nearly invincible to physical cuts. The griffin claws skate off his armor. Your stamina. Con 21 means you don't get tired. You're fighting at full sprint for hours without a break. Boss. The Tempest Eagle, Sirank. A massive bird made of storm clouds and lightning. It tries to stay airborne and bombard you. You realize you can't fly, but you can jump. You coil your legs and launch. You clear 50 feet in a single bound, landing on the boss's back. You drive the storm-edged sword into its spine, discharging the stored lightning. The storm disperses. The boss falls. Dungeon cleared. XP gained. 3,200. Loot. Tempest Feathers Wind Core C rank. Griffin Talons. You land. Alpha absorbs a boss's soul essence. Thrall status. Sentinel Alpha. Soul essence. 600/1500. Cap increased after evolution. Sunday evening. You return to the loft as the sun goes down. You are covered in dust and feathers, but you haven't taken a single point of damage. Financial update. Loot value. $18,000. Griffin parts are valuable for aerocrafting. Wallet. $60,600 plus $18,000 equals $78,600 credits. You shower and sit on your couch, looking at the city lights. You are ready for tomorrow. You have the money, the power, and the plan. Status. Level. 5 progress. 80%. HP. 4545 increased by CON. Mana. 24/24. Monday morning is approaching. Your first raid with Elena. The message. You pull out your phone. You keep it brief and professional, maintaining persona of the efficient team leader. To Elena Healer. Rendezvous confirmed. 0800 hours. Sector 4 hub. Don't be late. A moment later, a reply pings back. Aye, Captain. See you there. The lab. Arcane smithing. You lock the door and head into your workspace. You place the Griffin Talon on the table. It is 12 inches of curved, translucent keratin, sharp enough to split a hair. It hums with residual storm magic. Can we enchant it? You ask yourself. With INT-22, the answer is yes. You don't need a forge. You need a focal point. The process. Shaping. You use your DX21 hands to wrap the hilt in leftover shadow spider silk from your suit fitting scraps for a grip that never slips. Enchanting. You place the Wind Core C rank. You looted from the Tempest Eagle next to the blade. Fusion. You don't just glue it on. You use your mana to dissolve the core into the blade structure. You carve runic channels along the talon, guiding the wind magic to the edge. The room drops in pressure. The talon glows a faint, pale green. The weight of the object disappears. It becomes light as a feather. Crafting success. Great success. Item created. The Zephyr Fong, rank C, type dagger/offhand. Damage, moderate, piercing, plus wind/. Enchantment, gale force. Passive. The wielder's movement speed is increased by 10% while holding this. Active, 3 charges gust. The wielder can release a burst of compressed air to knock an enemy back 10 feet. Perfect for a healer to peel enemies off herself. It's the perfect self-defense weapon for a support class. Monday morning. The raid. Day 10. You wake up at 0600. You do your daily quest. It's routine now. You shower, dress in your executive suit, and clip the Zephyr Fong, sheathed, to your belt next to your bag of holding. You arrive at Sector 4 Hub at 0755. Elena is already there. She's wearing standard Association issue leather armor and holding her staff. She looks nervous but determined. When she sees you walking to the crowd, calm, suited, and radiating the aura of a shadow monarch, she visibly relaxes. You're on time, she says, smiling. Always, you reply. You reach to your belt and unclip the sheathed dagger. You toss it to her. She catches it, startled. She draws the blade. The wind magic hums, blowing a strand of hair back from her face. Her eyes go wide. James, this is a C-rank artifact. I can feel the mana density. Where did you get this? I made it. You lie smoothly, mostly. Keeps you fast. If anything gets too close, use the active skill to blast them away. I can't have my healer getting tackled. She looks at the dagger, then at you. She clips it to her belt, her cheeks slightly flushed. Okay, I'll make sure it sees some action. Thanks. Boss. The gate, Moss-like cavern, C-rank. You scan your ID. The gate flares. Mission, clear the caverns. Enemies, cave trolls, poison bats. Party, James DPS. Elena healer. You step through. The strategy, you are now in a damp bioluminescent cave. Elena raises her staff. Buffs up. Agility, strength, mana ward. You feel the energy wash over you. You are already a god. Now you are a supercharged god. Stay 10 paces behind me. You say? If I say move, you move? Got it. Combat start a cave troll, level 7. Lumbers around the corner. It roars. Decision point. This is your first fight with a witness. You need to maintain your cover as a speed swordsman while also being effective. Sentinel Alpha is in your shadow, Void Cache, waiting for a command, but you can't use him unless you distract Elena or reveal your secret. How do you engage? The blur. You don't shout a battle cry. You don't crouch for momentum. You simply stop, existing where you were standing. DX21 is a breaking point for physics. To Elena's eyes, you don't run, you flicker. The cave troll swings its massive club, aiming for the spot you occupied a microsecond ago. The club smashes into the wet stone floor, sending debris flying. By the time the rock chips hit the ground, you are already behind it. You didn't just slash, you dissected. You channeled force into the edge of your storm-edged sword to extend the cutting range. You delivered 4 precise cuts to the troll's major arteries and tendons in the span of a single heartbeat. Shing! You sheath your sword with a sharp click. Behind you, the troll freezes. Then, slowly its arms detach. Then its head slides off its shoulders. The massive body collapses into a heap of dissolving mana. Elena stands with her staff raised, mouth slightly open. The spell she was casting, Holy Bolt, fizzles out on the tip of her staff. Target down, you say, checking your watch. Let's keep moving. Elena lowers her staff, blinking rapidly. I didn't even have time to buff your defense. I don't need defense if they can't hit me. You reply, glancing back. Good reaction time on the spell prep, though. Keep that up. The dungeon clear. The rest of the cavern is a blur of efficiency. You tear through packs of poison bats and trolls like a lawnmower through tall grass. Your role. You are the whirlwind. You clear rooms before the mobs can aggro onto the healer. Elena's role. Since she doesn't need to heal you, you never get hit. She switches to utility. She uses a Zephyr Fong. You gave her to blast back a sneaker bat that tried to flank her. She uses light to reveal hidden traps you with your WIS-22. Already saw, but you let her find them to make her feel useful. Boss, the Spore King Sirank, a massive fungal monstrosity. It releases a cloud of choking spores. Elena, cast Purify, clearing the air instantly so you can breathe. James, you dash through the cleared path and drive your sword into the king's central eye. Dungeon cleared. The payout. You exit the gate back into Sector 4. It's barely lunchtime. Loot breakdown. Troll blood, regenerative alchemical ingredient 10 vials, $5,000. Cave moss, bioluminescent rare variety, $3,000. Spore core, Sirank, $12,000. Association payout, $15,000 duo rate. Total revenue, $35,000. The split, 50-50. You transfer $17,500 to Elena's account instantly. Elena's reaction. She stares at her phone notification. $17,000. James, this is 3 months of rent. In 2 hours. We work efficiently, you say, adjusting your suit jacket. Same time Wednesday. She looks at you, her eyes shining with adrenaline and gratitude. Wednesday, I'll be there early. Status update and stat distribution. You return to your loft. You feel the familiar burn of power settling in after the exertion. You apply the 3 attribute points from a morning daily quest, which you banked, to your mental and social stats. Stats updated. INT, 22 Rytero 23. Tier, Simulation Mind Plus. Your processing speed increases further. You can now likely maintain complex spells with 0 focus. WIS, 21 Rytero 22. Tier, Precognition Plus. Your danger sense is practically future sight. CHA, 13 Rytero 14. Tier, Commander. Your natural presence is becoming magnetic. People want to follow you. Current status. HP, 4545 mana. 2424 wallet. $78,600 plus $17,500 equals $96,100 credits. Party, Elena loyalty high. You are closing in on the $100,000 mark. That is a threshold for high society in the hunter world. Enough to buy property, high-grade artifacts, or start a guild. Monday evening. You have the evening to yourself. Elena is off paying her debts and likely buying that Massio spellbook. You have almost $100,000 in a C-rank core, Spore core, from the boss, if you kept it instead of selling. Let's assume you kept it for now as loot, or sold it. If you kept it, deduct $12,000 from wallet. Let's assume you sold it for the cash split for now. Correction. To pay Elena her $17,500 cash, you likely sold the loot immediately at the hub exchange. So you have $96,100 liquid cash. The lab, breaking space. You lock the blast doors of your concrete training room. You aren't just tweaking a formula tonight. You are expanding your territory. Current spell, Void Cache, rank B. Capacity, 6 slots, 1 occupied by Alpha. Limitation, it's a pocket. Tight, restricted, finite. The goal, you need a barracks. If you're going to be a monarch, you need a place to house a legion, not just a squad. You sit in the center of the room. You activate INT 23. Your mind becomes a cold, crystalline lattice of logic. You visualize your shadow not as a flat surface, but as a gateway to a 4th-dimensional hypercube. You begin to pour mana into the existing spell matrix. You don't just widen the hole, you fold the space inside it. You construct a stable mana atmosphere within the void, reinforcing the walls with the concept of eternity. Intelligence check, Arcana/Physics. Difficulty, DC 30 Masterclass. Roll 18 plus 7 INT modifier equals 25. Assist. You burn a refined mana gem, $1,000 value, from your inventory to stabilize the geometry. Total, 35. Success. The shadows in the room boil. The pool of darkness at your feet expands, covering the entire floor of the lab. It feels deep, infinite. Spell evolved. Void Cache, rank B. Right arrow void dominion, rank A. Type, Dimensional/territory. New capacity. Unlimited weight. Limit is based on mana upkeep. Slots. You can now store up to 20 units, humanoid size, or 2 large units, vehicles/monsters, comfortably. Feature, the armory. You can instant equip stored weapons. E.g., you can swap your sword for a spear from the void in 0.1 seconds. Feature stasis. Time does not pass inside. Corpses do not rot. Food does not spoil. Cost. 1 max mana, reserved, to maintain the structural integrity of this larger dimension. You feel a slight pinch in your soul as the 1 mana is permanently allocated, but the connection is solid. You now have a warehouse in your shadow. Tuesday morning. Day 11. You wake up. The city is gray and raining, but you feel electric. Daily quest reset. 10 kilometers run/100 push-ups, /100 sit-ups, /100 squats. Status. HP. 45 mana. 23/24, 1 reserve for Void Dominion. Wallet. $95,100. Use 1 gem. Thralls. Sentinel Alpha, level 6. Storage. Void Dominion, 1/20th slots used. You have $95,000. You have 19 empty slots in your army. You have a free Thrall slot from Shadow Monarch class. It is time to fill that slot. Tuesday morning. The Titans warm up. You lace up your running shoes. For 100%, that's the goal. You hit the pavement in Sector 3. 40 kilometers run. You run a marathon distance at sprint speed. You lap the district twice. You aren't winded. You're just getting warm. 400 push-ups. You do them on 1 finger. 400 sit-ups. Your core is a sheet of vibranium. 400 squats. You hold a vending machine you found in an alley for extra weight. Daily quest completed. Objective. Herculean effort. 400% completion. Rewards. Status recovery. Complete. Attribute points. +3 standard. +1 bonus for intensity. Total, +4 points. You bank the points for now, letting the adrenaline settle. The dungeon, the Obsidian Spire, peak C rank. You open the Hunter app. You filter for difficulty, hard and rewards. High. You select the Obsidian Spire. Rank, C, borderline B. Type, construct/elemental. Enemies, Obsidian Gargoyles, Magma Golems. Loot, high drop rate for cores and refined minerals. Note, most teams bring 10 people here. You're going solo. You arrive at the gate. It's a swirling vortex of red energy. You verify your D-rank license with C-rank permissions and step through the farm. You emerge on a narrow stone bridge suspended over a lake of lava. The air is toxic and superheated. Passive effect, extreme heat. Normal hunter. Takes 5 damage per minute. You. Con 21, you feel a comfortable warmth. Alpha. Deploy. Your diamond iron sentinel rises from your shadow. The heat glints off his faceted armor. He looks right at home. Phase 1. The bridge. A flock of obsidian gargoyles, level 8, descends from the spires. They are made of volcanic glass and stone. Combat. Alpha. He is the bait. He bangs his great sword against his shield, drawing their aggro. They dive at him, claws screeching against his diamond plating. You are the executioner. You run up the chain of the bridge, leaping into the air. Attack, you don't slash, you smash. You use the force enchantment on your sword to turn it into a bludgeon. You shatter wings. You crush skulls. Speed, you're moving so fast that you leave after images. Phase 2, the courtyard. You reach the main platform. It is guarded by magma golems, level 9. They are slow, but they hit like trucks and explode when killed. Strategy, you use void cache creatively. You store a large rock in your shadow, run up to a golem, and eject the rock at high velocity into its chest, using the momentum of the ejection. Finish. Alpha decapitates them while they are staggered. The boss. The Fire Vein Titan, C-rank elite. You reach the top of the spire. The boss is a 15-foot-tall giant made of cooling lava and obsidian armor. It raises a hammer the size of a car. Alpha, hold him. Alpha charges. He is half the size of the Titan, but his strength STR-18, combined with his unbreakable armor, allows him to parry the hammer blow. Clang. The shock wave cracks the floor. The kill. You activate Zephyr Fong offhand and Storm Edge Sword main hand. You sprint up the Titan's leg, run up its back, and drive both blades into the glowing lava vent on its neck. You channel Maximum Mana Bolt directly into the wound. Boom. The Titan's head blows off from the internal pressure. The loot and XP. The Titan crumbles. You stand amidst the rubble, breathing steady. Dungeon cleared. XP gained. 4,500. Level up. Level 5, right arrow level 6. Loot harvest. You spend an hour cracking open the stone corpses of the enemies. Gargoyle cores, C rank 12x. Common small. Magma hearts, C rank 5x. Rare volatile. Titan's core, high C rank 1x. Massive, pulsing with heat. Obsidian shards, a bag full, $8,000 value. Financial estimate. Cores, $25,000 to materials. $8,000 total run value. $33,000. Status check. You exit the dungeon. It is early afternoon. Wallet. $95,100 plus $33,000 equals $128,100 credits. Milestone. You are now officially a six-figure hunter. Attribute points. +4 daily quest. +2 level up. Total available, 6 points. Level 6 perk. At level 6, you unlock a skill slot or skill upgrade. Option. Upgrade Mana Bolt to Mana Lance, piercing. Option. Upgrade Arcane Aegis to reactive armor, explode when hit. Current stats base. STR, 21-23 Dex, 21 Con, 21 Int, 23 Wis, 22 Cha, 14. The physical pinnacle. You distribute the 6 attribute points evenly between dexterity and constitution. As the points settle, your body temperature spikes. Your skin hardens, becoming dense enough to turn a knife blade. Your nervous system rewires itself to conduct signals at near light speed. Stats updated. DX, 21 right arrow 24. Tier, blur effect. You can now move silently at full sprint. Your reaction time is 0.05 seconds. You can catch an arrow in midair. Con, 21 right arrow 24. Tier, Juggernaut effect. Your skin acts as natural armor, AC +2. You are immune to most poisons and diseases. You can hold your breath for 30 minutes. The lab, rebuilding the Titan. You return to your loft and lock the blast doors. You open your void dominion. The floor turns to shadow, and you drag out the massive, shattered remains of the Fire Vein Titan, which you wisely stowed in your new large unit slot. It is a pile of cooling lava rock and obsidian. The ritual, you place the Titan's core, high C rank, in the center of the debris. You cut your hand and let a drop of blood hit the core. You chant the binding spell. This is different from the skeleton. You aren't raising a dead body. You are binding an elemental spirit to a shell. Rise, you command. The obsidian shards rattle. The core flares with intense heat, turning the rock molten again. The stones float up, locking together with the grinding sound of tectonic plates. Magma begins to flow through the cracks, acting as blood and glue. The creature stands up. It is smaller than the original boss, about 9 feet tall instead of 15, but much denser. A walking volcano. Thrall created. Name, Ignis, the Siege Breaker. Rank, C Elite. Type, Golem/Elemental. Stats, STR, 22, Crushing Power, .con. Unlimited/Armor Class 24, Rock Skin. Speed, very slow. Abilities, Molten Core, radiates heat. Deals 5 fire damage per second to enemies in melee range. Seismic Slam, can strike the ground and knock down nearby enemies. Directives, Guard/Siege/Tank. You now have a hammer, Ignis, to go with your Anvil Alpha. Skill Evolution, the Sniper. You still have the level 6 skill upgrade pending. You sit on the floor, focusing on your Mana Bolt. It's a reliable spell, but it lacks punch against heavy armor. You visualize the mana compressing, Spinning, sharpening into a needle point. Skill upgraded. Mana Bolt level 1. Right Arrow Mana Lance level 1. Type, active/projectile. Effect, fires a high-velocity spear of compressed mana. Damage, high piercing. Ignores 50% of target's armor. Range, 100 meters. Cost, 5 mana per lance. You test it. You aim at a dummy target, a concrete block. In the corner of the lab, Fwip, there is no explosion. Just a clean, glowing hole punched straight through the concrete. It's a sniper rifle. Tuesday evening. Day 11 ends. You are exhausted but accomplished. You have a small army in your pocket, a massive bank account, and god-tier physical stats. Status, HP, 4848, increased by CON. Mana, 24/24 at wallet. $128, 100 to thralls. Sentinel Alpha, Diamond Ironite. Ignis, Magma Golem. Party, Elena, ready for Wednesday. Tomorrow is the raid with Elena. You promise her a C rank run. With your new stats and Ignis in reserve, a C rank will be a walk in the park.